Hey guys, Darth Glork here, back with part 16 of my If My Heart Had Wings playthrough. So last time, we returned to this game after a many-month hiatus, and we started the Amane route. Now, we got super far on that route, which was fantastic. And we got very far. Now, there was lots of interesting plot development, but we did resolve the drama with the club not, possibly getting shut down. And it was which was really nice. And then we started working on the romance that is a kindling between Amane and Aoi. So the interesting thing is apparently Amane, so when she was graduating school and getting ready to leave, Aoi confessed to her that he liked her, and apparently he felt like he got rejected. And that was 100% he was right. That's absolutely what that looks like. But then apparently she's been gone like over a year or whatever. And apparently Amane was under the impression the entire time that she had a boyfriend, even though they weren't planning on meeting up again. They had no concrete plans. But for some reason she's just goofy that way. And so she fully believed that she had a boyfriend. So at the very end of last episode, she learned that she actually does not have a boyfriend, and she's learning that romance is more complicated, than she might have believed before. So, yeah, definitely interesting there. So far the route is going much faster than I thought it would. Just the ability to skip and like how much of this stuff is repeated. Apparently we can skip this too. But anyway, apparently there's a lot of repeat stuff. So it's really nice because that means these episodes to finish up these other routes that we're missing should be a lot faster. Like, I don't think it's going to be 14 parts. I think it'll only be a few parts. And with each part, with each new route, I think it'll get less and less just because there'll be more and more we've already seen. So it's pretty neat, not gonna lie. Anyway, so that way we can get to the character-specific stuff, and we don't have to go over things we've already seen. Anyway, so I do have a flavored water in front of me. Strawberry's the flavor of the day, so I will be sipping on that, because obviously it's lots of reading, and so I'll be trying to keep my voice smooth as possible. So yeah, and lots of good stuff there. Anyway, so we can go ahead and skip. Oh, I think that was just the one slide we already saw. I don't think it was anything too crazy. Anyway, the thread of tension finally snaps and the classroom begins to buzz. Today is the middle day of the exam period. The exams are almost over and summer break is coming.
Aoi, どうだった?
How was it, Aoi? So. I filled out the answer sheet, though I crammed the night before. I am considered a bad boy, so I should try to keep my grades up.
だね。これからどうすんの?
Right, what are you gonna do? She means she wants to go home together if I don't have any plans. Sorry, I should stay and study.
あ、そう。
Okay. Aga sounded like she didn't care, then she gave me a vicious smile.
頑張ってね。
Good luck. There must have been some meaning in her smile that was lost on me. Agaha ran to Katori. Yeah, it's because Agaha and Katori, they're all in on it, dude. Like, I mean, the whole rest of the club is in on it. They want, they're absolutely trying to push Amane and Aoi together because they're super on board with this plan, and so am I. Anyway, what was that? Does she know that I love Amane? Absolutely she does, dude. When they were having their girl talk upstairs the other day, they seemed a little strange. But I don't act like I love her. I don't show them how I feel. If they can tell, they must be psychic. No, it's like really obvious. But thinking that, I stopped walking to the garage. She might have noticed. Not Agaha, but Amane. She turned me down once, so if I go see her for no reason, she would realize. Dude, maybe another girl if she was like more astute, but Amane, I mean, now that it's been pointed out to her, maybe she would notice, maybe she would realize, but there's a really good shot even now if she wouldn't notice. It's, there's a really good chance. I shouldn't go today. Uh-huh. You're not safe. I came here again. To the garage. It's gonna be fine. She's oblivious, so she won't know. I was about to say, most of the time I think he's right, but I don't know, man. Like, now that's been pointed out, she might be more attuned. And I came up with a reason to come here. Hey. He's like, sup, babe? Amane was working on the computer in the garage with the shutter half open. She looks serious as usual. She doesn't hear me as always. I pay it no mind and open my bag. What I got out from my bag is a lunchbox. Amane, please have this if you want. That is my excuse to come here. I brought an extra lunchbox. I put it on her desk. Ah, she's all blushing already, dude. She still hasn't noticed me. No, she might have noticed, man. I think she's on purpose pretending she hasn't noticed. When I look at her face carefully, it's red like she has a fever. She's staring at the screen, and sometimes... I think she's doing research on how to like ask people out and dating and stuff. I think that's what she's doing. What? Oh, she's saying. She's even more confused than usual. What is confusing her like this? The problem is she's so oblivious and like very concentrated that like he could probably, I mean, you know, he could probably just look over her shoulder and look at her screen. Like she's not exactly subtle. I was very curious and I looked at the screen behind her. What? On the screen I saw a movie in which a man and woman were standing on the bow of a ship. I've seen this one. The man makes her stand on the bow and opens her arms. It's Titanic. Isn't that Titanic? Isn't that a scene in Titanic? I saw Titanic once when I was much younger. I don't remember anything about it. Doing so, she gets a thrill out of it because it's like she's flying. Yeah, Titanic. I'm pretty sure. It looks like she's flying. Amane shouted for joy and opened her arms. That's 100% what she's doing. She's like researching on like love stuff so she could like get better attuned. This is very important from here on. I have to remember how to do it. She is murmuring and looking at the notepad. Now they hold hands. I think she's probably pretending to hold hands. Her arms are open wide, fingers wriggling. Okay, then turn to him like this. So funny because Aoi's just gonna be standing right there. She turned. Her eyes meet my eyes. She's just like, What are you doing? Aoi? Clattering. As soon as she saw me, her face turned red and she jumped up. Then she tried to hide the screen. It's not what it looks like. I was just studying. I mean, I'm sorry. Or, oh no, that was him. I'm sorry. I looked away and apologized. I know you're just watching a movie. I shouldn't disturb you. I should go. Wait! Grab. She grabbed my arm as I was trying to leave. Let me explain. She looks serious as usual. Go ahead. I just wonder why she feels the need to explain watching a movie. Everyone says I don't know anything about dating. Okay. So Kaneko's recommendation is go watch Titanic? Alright. So I got a movie recommendation as a reference and some advice from Kaneko. She's an expert in this. Is that the movie she recommended? It's not the only one. I borrowed some more. She showed me a bag from the video rental shop that was full of DVDs. But why movies? You were talking about dating, weren't you? Kaneko told me I should learn about dating from movies. From movies? I don't watch TV. Okay. She's told me which scenes to pay attention to. That's been very helpful. I'm glad to hear it. Please, keep studying. This is a lunchbox for you. If you're hungry, please eat. I put the lunchbox on the desk. I don't know why, but she's nodding and her face is red. I've never seen her embarrassed like this. I didn't know she gets embarrassed sometimes. It's very fresh. I felt awkward, so I was trying to leave when Amane opened her mouth. Hey, Aoi. What? Have you ever done... Huh? I don't think most people have done that in the center of an intersection. I mean, kiss. I don't think most people have done that. I feel like even among people that are like married probably haven't done that. Like in the middle of an intersection? Like, I feel this is probably a specific reference. I don't get this one. I think the other one was Titanic. I don't know what this one is from. No, I've never done that.
葵くんならきっとあると思ったんだが。
Really? I thought you might have. I don't understand why you would say that.
実は私もないんだ。
To be honest, I haven't either. Okay.
では駅のホームにいる葵くんと電車の中にいる彼女とで窓越しにキスとか。
She's talking about all these super specific things. So, how about this situation? You're on a train platform and through the window you kiss your girlfriend who's on the train. Nope, never done that either.
では船の一番前で指を絡ませながらキスを。
How about kissing on the bow of a ship, holding hands? I've never been on a ship.
葵くんもないのか。
You've never done that either. She's like, oh good, these are all the places we can hit once we're definitely officially together. She's thinking and murmuring happily to herself. While looking at her, I remembered that the same thing happened before. The night we were waiting for the morning glory last summer. I went to the runway with her. Ah, the flashback.
じゃあキスしたことは。
Well, have you ever kissed? Never.
そうなのか。君ならあると思ったんだがな。
Oh, okay. I thought you might have. If I had a chance, I'd like to.
なら私としてみないか。
Do you want to try it with me? Ah, back in the day when he turned her down because he's an idiot. Last time I didn't say yes, so she got upset and went home. This is just like before. I mean, this is the same situation. While I was thinking like that...
じゃあ私と交差点に行かないか。
That's like the cutest way ever to like try and like ask him out because she's just like, she's so adorable but like awkward but like in an adorable way. Hey, why don't we go to an intersection? What are you trying to do?
そんなのキスに決まっているではないか。
It's obvious. Kiss. No. Aw. Amane freezes.
どうしてだい。私はただ葵くんとなら。
Why? I thought I could do it with you. Do you want me to get upset? Move. I took a step forward.
葵くんが怖い顔をする。
Oh, you look scared. She flinched with tears in her eyes. I sighed loudly and turned away. This only happens in the movies. I said that and left the garage. Sad. What? Aoi, what the hell? So it's like, I mean, oh. Okay, like, from his perspective, obviously he doesn't think that Amane, like, he doesn't think that Amane likes him, obviously. So from Aoi's perspective, to him, if I'm assuming that he probably thinks that she's just curious about this stuff and not that it's with him and not that she cares about him, you know what I mean? So he turns her down. Now Amane is not like socially in tune enough to just say it outright with how she's feeling, and so she is bringing up this stuff specifically because she wants to do it with him. And so I think that's the disconnect there, is that Aoi just, you know, that for him it's upsetting because he doesn't feel like she wants to do anything special because it's with him, you know what I mean? So that's where it's coming from. My gut reaction is to be like, dude, what the hell? But at the same time, if you take it from Aoi's perspective, you can see where he's coming from, all right? Like, I would just say it openly or whatever, but obviously it's an anime, or, you know, I mean, it's a visual novel, but it's anime stuff. And so, obviously, it can't be that easy. Anyway, she knows how I feel, I grumbled. How about with me? Just silence. I don't understand why she wants to kiss the guy whose heart she broke. And she is the one who's studying movies for dating tips. She should try it with her boyfriend. That means she might have a boyfriend. I'm so bummed looking up at the perfectly clear sky. Yeah, see, so he thinks that she's probably with someone else. The exam period ended and summer break started. Oi. Freaking drama llama, dude. They're all dramas. Just so much drama. Take care going home. I see off Yuka, who is going back to her hometown. Sane? I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Sane and Ryoko left yesterday. Yuka was the last one to spend summer break at home. Half of the people in the dorm are gone. Flying Fish Manor, which is always lively, is quiet. By the way, Katori is not going home again this year. Hibari tried to persuade her, but there was no way for her to leave Kazagura because she got Amane and the garage back. Asa can walk home, so she stayed too. How about Kaneko? She also said that she's not going home. There are some people here in the dorm, but I get some rest from my dorm mother work. Finally, I can concentrate on the club. That's nice. He gets a summer break too. Maybe we'll make actually progress.
もうすぐ資材が届くからスペース 開けられるようにしといて。
Yeah, maybe we'll make actual progress on the relationship front this time, huh? Anyway, Asa, we're getting materials in, so make space for him.
はい。
Okay.
小鳥、今のうちに工程もう一回確認しとこうか。設計図お願い。
Katori, we should check the process again now. Bring a blueprint.
ほいさ。
All right. Agaha's brisk voice resounds in the garage. Everyone follows her and moves quickly. Finally, we can start reforming the body.
ワクワクするわね。
I'm so excited.
ワクワクっていうか、もううずうずよ。
I'm more than excited. We waited for a year after the club became a society. Nobody seems tired from the exams. They work hard in defiance of the summer heat.
Ageha! Iruka!
Tatsuya, my dude, I'm so happy to see you. He's the reason we're even on the path towards success. We super need him. Agaha, are you there? Anchan! Anchan showed his face in the opening of the shutter.
運ぶのを手伝ってくれ。
Can you help me carry some stuff?
はーい。葵、朝ちゃん、夜ちゃん。
Okay, Aoi, Asa, Yoru. Oh,
行こう、夜ちゃん。
come here, Yoru. Okay. We take a lot of stuff down from Anchan's pickup that came in through the back gate. Huge cardboard boxes, cans, and so on. These materials are all for making gliders. Last year, we bought them with Amane's money, but this time is different. Agaha and Katori were working in Anchan's factory for a year while we were reduced to a society. They learned various processing technology, and it's not much, but they got some money. They weren't paid cash, they were paid with this stuff. Using Amane's blueprints, we came up with estimates of the materials we would need to make the improvements. We got materials based on those estimated needs. Getting materials from Anchan is cheaper, and he gives us good stuff. We now carry those materials inside.
樹脂の缶はこっちの涼しいところに、ガラスクロスの箱はこっち。他は
That's pretty dedicated, man. Working in the factory, not for money, just for all the materials you need. That's like some serious dedication. The resin cans go in a cool place. Fiberglass cloth boxes here, and we followed Katori's directions, organizing the massive amount of materials into a mountainous pile. Katori and Agaha watched over it all proudly. But of course, what with all of our hard work taking shape there in front of us and all.
あれ、ポリエステル樹脂の缶が多いみたいだけど。
Uh-huh. There are too many polyester resin cans, aren't there?
本当だ。おーい、あんちゃん。
Oh yeah. Hey, Anchan.
ああ、それは俺からの選別だ。お前らギリギリで見積もってただろう。
Oh, he's such a good guy, man. Those are gifts from me. You guys gave me the lowest possible estimate.
後で足りなくなっても困るし、余っても補修に使えるだろ。
You'll run into trouble if you don't have enough later. If it's too many, you can use them for repairs.
ありがとう、あんちゃん。
Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you.
なーに、可愛い後輩たちに俺も何かしてやりたいだけさ。
It's nothing. I just wanted to do something for you guys. He said it pleasantly, but he did a lot, even if he didn't give us these.
おー。
I think I probably said that wrong. He did a lot, even if he didn't give us these. There we go. See, there's different emphasis. It makes the sentence mean something very different. Anyway, Amane's looking at the materials piling up.
あまねちゃん、いよいよ作るのよ。あまねちゃんが設計したグライダーを。
Amane, we are gonna make it finally. The glider you designed. Yeah.
嬉しくないの？
Aren't you happy?
いや、嬉しいんだが、なんだか不思議な感じだ。
Yes, I am, but I feel a little weird.
設計図を書いていた時、私は作る予定のないものだと思っていたから。
When I was designing it, I was thinking it would never be made.
変なの。
That is weird.
全部運び終わりました。
Done.
お疲れさ。あんちゃん、ありがとう。
Good stuff. Thank you, Anchan.
お前らのグライダーが飛ぶの楽しみにしてるぞ。
I'm looking forward to seeing your glider fly. Anchan patted Agaha on the head. Then he looked at Amane and left without saying anything. Ah ha ha.
さあ、行くわよ。
Probably gives.
やろうども。
Sorry, Katori. He probably gives her a look like he's like, you know what we talked about, as he all like walks away. Anyway, all right, let's do it. With those words, the aircraft's improvements were underway. Hell yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Do you think that because I feel like that it's going faster this time, even without the skipping. I feel like that a lot of the science part was very heavily explained the first time, that this time it hasn't been. Now, I think at least a portion of that is because, of course, because of obviously the skip feature, but even besides the whole skipping thing, it does feel like they're not as explaining everything as heavily this time, like they're assuming you already know what's happening. My running theory on why is I'm wondering if it's because this route only unlocks after you've romanced Kotori. So to get this route at all, you would have had to have gone through Kotori's whole thing, and it was probably the first route you ever did, probably, which is the reason why that one's probably much more handholdy as far as all the sciences goes and the blow by blow, and it's the reason that one was 14 parts the first time. You know what I mean? Whereas even with the skipping, I think this one would be a lot faster because it only unlocks after you do Kotori's route. So I'm wondering if that's why it feels a little less handholdy and it's a little more streamlined as far as the events that are happening, which I'm super okay with. That's a huge relief to me because it makes it easier to go back through the other routes, right? So that's really exciting. Anyway, the work was making steady progress. We'd only repaired some broken parts before the exams. At the time, we taught the basic processes of FRP to Asa. This time, the main improvements are to the wings. We're going to change the regular tapered wings to forward swept wings, and we are going to put them lower than last time. Doing that will shift the center of gravity back and will improve the craft's balance. We'll have to work hard on making the wings, but it's almost the same process as last time, so everyone works smoothly. Or rather, making the body was more difficult. If you make a mistake, you might ruin the whole thing. Anchan will come to check it out when he has time. Then we will remake the small parts. We don't have enough materials to make mistakes, so we have to work carefully. You're right, it's no good if the wings break like last time Amane made them. It's weird, I thought I made them right. Amane, who was listening to Kotori, got sulky. What are you doing, Amane? Are you working? Amane brings her work to the garage. So she can be here from daytime. No. She hesitated to say it and glanced at me. She's like, no, this is where Aoi is. I want to spend time with him. Ah, this is a simulator. But the craft in the simulator looks like... Ah, a convenient excuse to be near Aoi. Well done. I updated the simulator for the improved machine. I thought we could use some more practice. Aoi, look, it's great. Oh, right, the body shape is different. The body we looked at so many times in the blueprints was on the screen in front of me as a fully colored 3D model. Can you move it now? She looks at me concerned and nods. Ever since the day she was watching and studying that movie, it's been awkward between us. Yeah, understandably. We can use it already. Yeah, with this we can practice before the test flight. It would help us a lot. If the main wings change, flying is going to be different. It's very scary to fly without practice, even if we are trained to be pilots. While thinking about that... Internally, yay, Aoi's very happy. She struck a victory pose and smiled. What happened to Amane? She looks weird. Nothing. Aoi, try the simulator. I'll call you when I need a hand. Alright. Hell yeah. They just need to talk it out, man. They have to hash this stuff out. It's never gonna get resolved otherwise. Everyone kept working after the sun went down, so we can do a test flight as soon as possible. I was trying the simulator that Amane updated in the corner of the garage. It feels different. Is it because the center of gravity is lower now? While thinking about the flight last year, I'm trying to get a feel for the differences before we make the improvements. While I'm doing that... Glance. I look at her in spite of myself. She's now doing her work on the PC. Her serious face staring at the screen is awe-inspiring and beautiful. So true. Oops, I should concentrate. After that day, it has been awkward between us. I don't mind, but she does, and is trying to avoid... I mean, she looks a little afraid of me. Maybe it wasn't good that I got mad at her. But that made me angry because she said that even knowing how I feel. She can't say she is just a natural airhead. But it was kind of wasteful to turn down such a good offer. Yeah. Glance. I look at her face. The woman I love is right there. I'm still confused. That means I'm not over her yet. I tried to be cool when I confessed to Kotori. I sighed.
葵くんがあまねちゃんをじっと見つめてため息ついてる。
They're all super in on it, dude. Aoi's staring at Amane inside. I know, it's not going well.
あまねちゃん。
It's not going well. Amane!
なんだ小鳥。
What, Kotori?
ちょっとこっち来て。
Come here.
何か問題でもあっ
She's
た
like,
の？
make your move, woman! What's wrong?
ねえ、あれから葵くんとはどうなの？
What's going on between you and Aoi since then?
なんか前よりも気まずくなってるように見えるんだけど。
It seems more awkward than before.
まだ言ってないの？
Have
好きだって。
Sorry, too fast. Haven't you told him yet that you love him? No.
もう何やってるのよ。
Oh my gosh, what are you doing?
だって恥ずかしいじゃないか。
I'm shy.
葵くんもそうだったと思うよ。あまねちゃんに告白した時。
I'm sure Aoi felt the same when he said he loves you. Well,
勇気出そう。好きって言えば必ず OK してくれるから。
be brave. I'm sure he still feels the same way.
そうだろうか。
I'm not sure about that.
ほんと私が保証する。
I'm sure. I guarantee it.
1年も経ってなんで今頃って思われないだろうか。
Doesn't he wonder why now? It's been a year.
なんでそんなとこだけ普通の女の子みたいな思考になってんのよ。
Why do you think about this stuff like a regular girl?
だいたい1年も会ってなかったくせになんで付き合ってると思い込んでたわけ？変だと思わなかったの？
Why did you think you were together even though you hadn't seen him for a year? Didn't you think that was strange?
ちょっとくらいは思ったぞ。変だって。でも私はバカだからな。
I thought about it a little. It's strange, but I'm stupid.
何かきっかけをつかみましょう。
You need...
葵くんに話しかけるのよ。
Sorry, too fast. You need a chance to talk to him.
意識してしまってうまく会話ができないんだ。
I can't talk to him. Well, I can't talk to him well because I care too much.
それでもいいから。変なのはいつものことだって葵くんもきっと思ってくれるから。
Atta girl, Kotori. That's a good pep talk. That's fine. You've always been weird. He probably thinks so too.
私はそんなに変か？
Am I that weird?
変よ。だから自信持って。
Yes, so be confident.
おお。
Okay. Hell yeah. Atta girl, Kotori. Atta girl. Amane, who was talking to Kotori stealthily in the back of the garage, went back to her seat. Her face is a little red. She glances at me, trying the simulator. What are they talking about? They must have, they've been sneaky lately.
なあ、葵くん。
Hey, Aoi. Amane came over and looked at the screen.
どうかな、それ。
What do you think of it? It's great.
本当か？
Really? If I practice with this, I think I can handle it even without getting... I can handle it without getting confused, not even with. I can handle it without getting confused. Thank you.
いやー、葵くんに褒められたぞ。
She gets all bashful. No, you gave me a compliment. Her mood perked up until it seemed she might even hum a song, and then she went back to her seat. Completely forgot that she was trying to, like, talk to him more. She's very happy because she got a compliment on her simulator. No, you idiot! If she's happy because it was you! She is strange, but she's always been strange.
ちょっとあまねちゃん、席に戻ってどうすんの？せっかくいい雰囲気だったのに。
Tori's like, what the hell? Come on! She's like, you missed the point. Like, what are you doing, Amane? Why did you come back? You guys were getting along.
そうだった。
Oh, shoot!
葵くん。
Aoi. She came back to me again. Yes?
お腹が空かないか？
Say, aren't you hungry? Yeah, I suppose I am. When I look at the clock, it's already past 7. Everyone has lost track of time because we're too focused on our work. I'll go get something to eat.
いや、違う。
What? No? Like what? No! Hey, I'm gonna go get some food from the store. What do you all want? When I said it, everyone stopped working and gave me a list. I don't know why, but Kotori looks irritated. Doesn't she like food from the store? She's like, No, Katori's only irritated because Amane's dragging her feet. What do you want, Amane?
おにぎりとサンドイッチとウルトラカップの豚骨ラーメンを頼む。
A rice ball, a sandwich, and an ultra cup pork ramen, please. See, but this is, it could still work. Amane needs to go with him. She's like, I'll go with you. That seems like a lot to carry. Like, it would be so easy. Anyway. Okay, I'll be right back. I left the garage where everyone was working and ran to the store. Dang it all! She had to go with him. That was the perfect time. It's getting late. After everyone ate their food from the store, they kept on working. We started off from day one with a fighting spirit. While I play with the simulator, I also help them.
今日はこのくらいにしとこうか。
We should stop working for today. She said it when she thought the timing was good. Everyone starts cleaning up.
朝ちゃん、夜ちゃん、いきなりハードだったんじゃない？
Asa Yoru, wasn't it hard?
全然。すごく面白かったです。
Not at all, it was fun.
私も早く完成して飛ぶところが見たいです。
It was. I want to finish it. I want to see it fly. Hell yeah, dude. Even Yoru's coming around. That's awesome.
見たいよね。
Me too.
だって小鳥部長。
Katori, club leader.
それでこそ我がソアリング部員よ。
That's more like it. We're members of the Soaring Club. I turn off the computer on which I was playing the simulator and get ready to leave. I would not phrase it like playing the simulator. That makes it sound like you're goofing off. I would phrase it differently, while I was training. Because, you know, it is a simulator, which is like, there's lots of things that people do. People do a lot of simulator stuff for fun, but, I mean, you know, he's doing it because he's trying to practice, so when he's flying the real glider, it's a little less foreign. It makes total sense, but I wouldn't phrase it like playing the simulator. It would make it, for me, I feel like the connotation is bad, but whatever. Amane? Thank you for updating the simulator. It helped me a lot. You're welcome. Her face turned red and she looked away.
あまねちゃんはどうするの？私たちもう帰るけど。
What are you gonna do, Amane? We're leaving.
まだ仕事がある。
I have more work to do. Okay, take care. Thank
あ
you.
りがとう。
Sorry, way too fast. Sorry. She said thank you. Her face turns red again as she thanks us. Slight grab. She grabs my finger. Oh, that's so cute.
おやすみ、葵くん。
Oh, it's so adorable. Good night, Aoi. Then she let go of my hand and went back to her seat like she was running away. Good night. He's like, what the hell? That was so cute. Yeah, that was downright wholesome and adorable. Like, considering how hard all of this progress is, like, that's like the most we could have asked for. Whew. I love you. I think he fell off rolling around. As soon as I got back to my room, I hugged my pillow and started rolling around. The thing she did when she tried to leave, slight grab. What the hell was that? He's like, that was so cute, I think I died. And doing so, her shy red face looking into mine. Why did she look at me like that? She's much older and she looks mature, but how she acts and her facial expressions, it's cute, like a child. She's so cute, even if she is older. Since I met her again, I've tried not to show my feelings, but after that day, so how about with me? I can't control my feelings. There's no way to calm myself down other than rolling around in bed. Rolling around. I'm rolling around in the small bed. I feel stupid because I got confused, but I'm calm now. I settle down and start thinking about what I should do. I should try and tell her how I feel again. You should! You should! It would make her incredibly happy. Hopefully she responds correctly this time. At that time, I thought she was going to be gone. That's why I told her. It was like I was going to die in battle. I mean, I just wanted her to know before I was gone. But I feel different now. If I spend time with her again this time, I have to tell her how I feel. If I don't, I'll end up hugging my pillow and rolling around in bed like an idiot every day. I swear, remembering her hand that touched my finger. Attaboy, yeah, now this is a plan. He's gonna tell her again. Now, ideally, if we have two people, if Amane is doing her best and working towards asking him out, like, you know, trying to tell her side officially, and Aoi is actively working towards telling her again that he still does like her, you know, hopefully we can actually get some closure. Anyway, there are so few chances to ask her out. First, we have to be alone. Just asking her out is not good enough either. The atmosphere is important. If I take her out to the garage where everyone works, people will notice. There's no chance that'll work. I played the simulator and helped him work. Yawn. I try not to yawn. This is no good. I'm not sleeping enough. I have had a lack of sleep lately. During the exams, I studied late. After summer break started, I've been waking up early to repair the dorm, which was damaged by a storm. The list goes on. What's more, I've been thinking about Amane, so I've barely been able to sleep. It's very hard to work in the club in this condition. Katori's like, there's no closure and it's killing me. Anyway, Katori's glaring at me. What did I do to make her mad? Is she mad because I broke her egg yolk this morning? No. No, she's not. While working, I pretend not to notice.
Aoi-kun, ちょっといい?
Aoi, do you have a minute? Katori took me outside of the garage. She's like, alright, listen up, pal. Why do we have to be outside? If she wants to complain about her egg yolk, this is a little excessive. Katori checks to see that no one's around, then she turns to me.
あのさ、あれからあまねちゃんとどう?
Hey, how have you and Amane been doing since then? How? How? Nothing's changed. I said it nonchalantly. It's called a poker face. Yeah.
全然今まで通りに見えないから聞いてるんだけど。
I'm asking because you don't look the same.
っていうか、あまねちゃんのこと意識しまくってるの。もう
Every-
みんなにバレバレなんだけど。
Everybody already knows you care about Amane.
なのにまだ気づかれてませんって顔してて、なんかムカつくわ。
But you're still pretending like nobody knows. It's frustrating. What are you saying to yourself?
まだその好きなのよね。
A cough. You still love her, don't you? Yes. By the way, you told Agaha about it, didn't you?
なんで?
What? Why? Because everyone looks at me funny. They look at me and smile like they're all thinking about something.
違う、私言ってないよ。
No, I didn't say anything. Then who did?
誰っていうか、単にバレバレなだけで。
Nobody. It's just obvious. She looks confused and murmurs. Whatever. Hey, what did you want?
そうだった。あのね、葵くんはそんなだし、あまねちゃんは超ヘタレだし、見ててもどかしいっていうか、なんていうか。
Katori's like, all of this, like, unspoken thing is just murder. Oh yeah, you're like that, and Amane's a chicken. I can't watch you guys.
だからもう言っちゃうけど、あまねちゃんはね。
Hell yeah, Katori's just gonna head it off at the pass. So I'll just say it. Amane.
こら小鳥、何サボってんの?
Agaha! Darn it, it was almost gonna be out in the open. Like, darn it, woman. We were so close. Hey, Katori, what are you doing over there? Agaha appeared suddenly and cut off our conversation. I wish she hadn't.
いや、サボってるんじゃなくて。
I'm not playing. Ah.
葵もやることあるでしょ?
You have something to do, don't you, Aoi? Oh, sorry. I apologize and look at Katori.
もういい。ごめんね。
Nothing, sorry. She said it sadly. I left them behind and went back to the garage. God dang it, we were so close!
で、何言おうとしてたわけ?
So, what are you guys talking about? Well, now, absolutely nothing. Now, there's no closure to be found.
あまねちゃんが葵くんのこと好きだって。
I was going to say that Amane loves him.
見ててもどかしいのはわかるけど、それはマナー違反ってもんよ。
I know it's hard to watch, but it's not your business.
本人から伝えることでしょうが。
They have to say it by themselves.
そうなんだけど、でも私、実は、その...
I know, but well...
実は何よ?
What?
言えない。葵くんの気持ち、こっそり教えてもらってたなんて、アゲハには言えない。
Oh, I can't say. He told me how he feels about her.
何一人で悶々としてんの?
What are you doing?
なんでもない。
Nothing.
私さ、小鳥って葵のことが好きなんだと思ってた。
I thought you liked Aoi.
なんでそうなるかな?
What? What made you think that?
なんかそんな感じに見えたから。なのに、あまね先輩のことを応援しちゃったりして。
I just thought so, but you're trying to help Amane.
そりゃ好きっちゃ好きだけど、それは友達としてだもん。友達だから力になってあげたいの。
I like him as a friend. He's my friend, so I want to help.
それに、あまねちゃんのことも同じくらい好きよ。アゲハは違う?
And I like Amane too. Don't you like her?
うん。
Yes.
だからまあ、見てて超もどかしいんだけどね。
Oh, she's like, yes, and that's why I can't watch them.
もしあまねちゃんと葵くんがうまくいってくれたら嬉しいじゃない。最高じゃない。
If Amane and Aoi get together, it'll make me happy. It'll be awesome.
そうだね。ちょっぴり寂しいけど。
Yeah, it's a little sad though. Yes, it is.
さあ、戻って作業の続きやろう。
Okay, let's go back and get to work.
おう。
All right. Yeah, they're all like, I'm sick of watching this stupid little head game they're all playing, and I wish they would stop it.
よーし、今日はここまで。
Okay, that's all for today. Hang on, I might have. Sorry, I think right. Oh, look at that. Right click hides the UI. Now you know. Anyway, okay, that's all for today.
みんな、お疲れさ
Everybody, you did a great job.
ーん。お疲れ。順調ね。
Great job. We're doing very well.
今のところ工程表通り。もうちょい頑張れば工期短縮できるかも。
We're following the plan. If we work a little harder, we might be able to cut building time.
朝と夜が頑張ってくれてるおかげね。
It's because of Asa and Yoru.
さあ、片付けして帰ろう。
She did a cute laugh. I'm not gonna read that. I can't copy that kind of cute laugh. Anyway, let's clean up and go home. Sleeping.
あれ、葵先輩寝ちゃってますよ。
Aoi fell asleep.
本当だ。
Oh yeah.
最近寮母のお仕事とかあって大変そうだったのよね。
He's been working in the dormitory too. It looks like hard work.
葵くん、起きて。葵くん。
Aoi, wake up. Aoi. He's still sleeping. He's not.
起きない。
Sorry, I was thinking she was thinking that and not that she was gonna say it. He's not waking up.
このまま寝かせておいてやったらいいんじゃないかな。
Maybe we could just let him sleep like this.
でもそれじゃ帰れないんじゃ。
But he can't go home.
だからでしょ。
That's the point, Ava little laugh.
なるほど。あまねちゃん、あまねちゃん。
I got it! Amane, Amane!
なんだ。
What?
葵、このまま置いて帰りますんで、後のことはよろしくお願いしますね。
We'll leave Aoi here, so please take care of him.
おう、
What? Oh, okay.
それじゃあまたね、
See,
あまねちゃん。
see you then.
さようなら。
Well played, ladies. Well played. See ya.
失礼します。
See ya. She's like, he's completely unconscious. Looks around. She's like, oh my god.
起きたのか。
Are you awake? Still sleeping?
寝返りを打っただけか。そんな格好で寝て苦しくないのかな。
He just rolled over. Is he comfortable?
そうだ。
Oh. Hell yeah.
あの二人、今頃どうしてるでしょうね。
I wonder what they're doing right now. Probably nothing super exciting.
さあ。けどあまねちゃん、超ヘタレだから寝顔見てるだけかもしれないわね。
Yeah, that's probably exactly what's happening. I don't know, but Amane's a chicken. She's probably just watching him sleep.
わかんないわよ。案外大胆な行動に出てるかもよ。
I'm not sure. She might do something.
それはどんな。
Like what?
例えば添い寝をするとか。
For example, she lays down with him.
添い
Lays down with him?
寝ちゃんと告白できるかしら。
I wonder if she could tell him her feelings.
どうかな。うまくいくといいんだけど。
I don't know. I hope she will. Hey, me too. Me too. Sleeping. I can hear the breath of someone sleeping. I bet you she did lay down and fell asleep too. That's 100%. This is the sound of my breath. When I thought about it, I realized I was sleeping. But I don't feel good and feel very sleepy. Drowsiness is trying to stop me from waking up. I turn over on the pillow. This is Amane's voice? I thought I heard Amane. Then in my ear.
かわいいな。
So cute. What is happening? I heard her clearly this time. I'm not wrong. That is her voice. I open my eyes a little, half asleep. Oh, hell yeah. 100%. I bet you he's laying his head on her lap, dude, while he's completely unconscious. That's adorable. It's her. That is her face. There is her face right in front of me. The light from the ceiling is bright. Oh, I fell asleep in the garage. I fell asleep when I was looking at the simple simulator on the screen because I was tired and I didn't get enough sleep. But why is her face in front of me? And this pillow feels very good. I try to move and put my face in the pillow. I'm not copying that. You just listen to her voice, not mine, alright? Huh? This pillow is warm, and if I move, it moves too. Is this? Look around a little bit, brother. Anyway, Amane's lap? Am I sleeping with my head in her lap? When I realize this, I'm already mostly awake. What's happening? Why is my head on her lap? I remember things from before I fell asleep, but it doesn't make any sense. I fell asleep on the chair, playing the simulator. But now I'm laying down on the floor and sleeping with my head on her lap. Was I dreaming? How did I dream this into happening?
葵くんの寝顔かわいいな。
He looks cute when he's sleeping. She's staring at me and smiling. I try to pretend I'm sleeping. Attaboy! Attaboy, that's what I would do too. Touch his head. Her hands touch my hair. She looks happy. What a cutie. Her smile makes me happy. And, touch. Her hands touching my hair feel good. It makes me sleepy again. Maybe I should sleep like this. With her lap as my pillow and with her touching my hair. It must be the best way to fall asleep. But, why am I sleeping with my head on her lap? I came back to the question again, but if I keep asking, it'll ruin this wonderful moment for me. So I decided to keep pretending to be asleep. Attaboy, there we go, doing everything that we would all do. She leaned forward a little. She looked right into my face. I closed my eyes tight so she won't know that I'm awake. He pretends to sleep again. I feel her body heat very close to me. What are you doing, Amane?
なんだろうこれ。心臓がドキドキするぞ。
What is this? My heart is pounding. She looked at me and said it. And then... Kiss. Oh, something soft and warm touched my lips. Oh! She went in for a kiss while he was asleep? I mean, not really asleep, though. Is this a kiss? I'll never forget the feeling of her juicy lips. It was a kiss. Surprised, I opened my eyes. Well, you shouldn't have. You should have enjoyed the moment. My eyes meet hers a few centimeters away. It's like, remain calm, no one panic. He was down with it, he was okay with it. She obviously must be okay with it. Like, no one freak out. Don't ruin the moment. What are you doing?
これは葵くんが寝てて首が辛そうだったから。
Okay, Aoi, here is where you've already done things I totally agree with, like pretending to be asleep, enjoying the moment, totally get that. Here is the time. Do not screw this up. Do not put your foot in your mouth and be like, you don't even care about me. Like, please, just please. Please just do the right thing, please. You were sleeping and you looked uncomfortable. She's trying hard to make up an excuse. Normally, her face turns red and she runs away. Unfortunately, she can't move because my head is on her lap. He's just silent. She's just staring at me wordlessly. She looks uncomfortable and her eyes are shaky. Did you kiss me? She froze.
してないぞ。
No, I didn't.
夢でも見たんじゃないかな。葵くんぐっすり眠っていたから。
It might have been a dream. You were really sleepy. She played dumb. You're lying. I know how your lips feel. Did you kiss me? Did you do it? Ooh, she admitted it! It's already going better. There's hope still. I still have hope. The hope is climbing a little bit. Yes, I did. She gave up and lowered her head. I complained. You know how I feel. How could you do that to me?
だってしたかったから。
I just wanted to kiss you. I want to kiss you.
そうなのか。
Really? She looked into my eyes doubtfully.
じゃあもう一回。
Okay, then do it again. What the hell does again mean? Of course I didn't reject her and just let her kiss me. That's adorable. Her soft and juicy lips touched mine.
2回もしてしまったぞ。
Huh, I kissed you twice. It's probably not quite like that. It's probably not quite like, ha! In your face! Anyway, she blushes bashfully. I looked up at her from her lap and said, my feelings towards you haven't changed since last year. This is exactly what I wanted to happen. Yes! Just like, be straightforward. Just like, obviously, she can't hate you that badly because she, you know, of her own volition, this is not how you fell asleep. So waking up this way must clearly mean someone put you there, and I doubt it was anyone else other than Amane, and it wasn't you. You know what I mean? So it's like, obviously, so she can't hate you too bad. So it's like, now's the time. You know what I mean? Just like, be straightforward. So finally, my feelings towards you haven't changed since last year. I still love you.
本当か？
Really? She looks surprised. I'm not lying.
いや、にわかに信じがたいのだが。
I can hardly believe you. So I should say it to you. So I should say it until you believe me. I love you.
葵くんがまだ私のことを好きでいてくれたなんて思いもしなかった。
I've never thought you had feelings for me.
だって私たちはお付き合いしていなかったのだろう。
Because you and I were not together, were we? Huh? What is she talking about?
嬉しいぞ。
I'm so happy. Wow! Suddenly she hugged my head hard. I have no idea what she's talking about. Yeah, I mean, probably because she's like, we weren't actually together, right? He's like, what does that mean? Of course we weren't. He's just like really confused. But she said she's happy, which that means, hey.
私もだ。私も1年前からずっと好きだぞ、葵くん。
I feel the same. I've been in love with you for a year. What?
好きだ。大好きだ、葵くん。
I love you, Aoi. Really?
でなければ葵くんとキスをしたいなどと思うわけがないだろう。
If I didn't love you, I'd never think to kiss you. But what do you mean for a year?
自分では付き合っているつもりだったんだ。私は葵くんの彼女だとずっと思っていたんだ。
Hell yes, yeah. Perfect, dude. She's even gonna tell him all of this misunderstanding. I'm ready for this. I thought we were together, that I was your girlfriend. He's just silent. I am in total shock. I can't say anything.
どうやらそれは間違いだったらしいと先日みんなから聞かされた。
Can I just say really quick before we get farther with this, I am so proud of Ageha for wait, actually, we can induce this. We can finally help them coax along to make actual progress. Let's leave them together. Well done, Ageha, and well done for the rest of them for trying to push these two for this to work out. Freaking finally. Anyway, the other day, everybody said I was wrong. Everybody, they heard from Amane. That's why she was acting weird.
それでちゃんと好きだと言った方がいいと教えられたんだが、なかなかうまくいかなくてな。
So they said I should tell you how I feel, but it didn't work well.
けど伝えられてよかったよ。
I'm glad I could finally tell you. What were you doing then? What were you doing then? Watching movies and studying?
それは私から好きだとはなかなか言い出しにくかったんだ。
It was hard for me to say I love you.
そうしたらかな子が映画のシーンを参考にすれば告白しやすいかもしれないとアドバイスをくれたんだ。
Kaneko gave me advice. I should watch movies and learn from them. Is that what you were doing the other day? Oh, so that's what you were doing.
そういうことだ。
Yep. Now that she feels more comfortable, she smiles. Well, we feel much better, don't we? Now that we aired all that out.
ああ、本当によかった。それと申し訳なかった。
Yeah, much better. Oh, and I'm sorry. About what?
私は人の気持ちには鈍いらしいから。
I'm very slow to notice what others think. I love the way you are.
葵くんにそう言ってもらえるのは嬉しいのだが。
I'm happy to hear that, but what's the matter?
問題というか、どうしてもわからないことがあるんだ。
There's something I just can't understand.
お付き合いの何たるかがわからないとかな子に相談した時に、本当生きた化石ねなどと言われたんだ。
Freaking got him. Alright, hang on a minute, really quick. This is for my use later. So I want this as a screenshot, and I know you can, because I know you can do this. See, so I could get rid of that. Here's the problem, is I think that it's F12, I think, to do a screenshot in Steam, I think. Here's the problem, is I think back in the day, I think I don't know what the word is, or I binded, I don't know what the word is, but I bound, I guess, my F11 and F12 keys to start recording and end recording. So I don't know if OBS still has that, but forever ago I did. Now I haven't done that on this computer. I think that was with my old one, but just in case, I'm a little nervous to hit F12 and in case that is the screenshot button, and if it does work, I'm a little concerned that it's going to stop the recording. So I'm not going to chance it, but I will put a save right here just in case I can't find this picture later. I would not be against having some of these pictures, although I would prefer the one where she was smiling, so I might have to save it again in a second. Anyway, when I said to Kaneko I didn't know anything about dating, she said I'm a living fossil.
生きた化石といえばシーラカンスだが、未だに自分との共通項を見出せずにいるんだ。
A living fossil is like Coelacanth? I don't even know what that sounds like a Pokemon. I don't even know what that is. But I still haven't figured out something we have in common. We live on the same Earth, but that fossil is a fish, she muttered with her face all screwed up. I can explain, but I don't feel like it. You shouldn't worry about it. You should just be the way you are.
じゃあ許してくれるのか?
Ah, there it is. Okay, now she has a smiling version.
以前の
Perfect. Overwrite that one. That's for me later, in case I do want the screenshot and I can't find it somewhere else. So, can you forgive me? It's not about that. You didn't do anything wrong. You just misunderstood.
ありがとう葵くん
Thank you, Aoi. After her kind gratitude, she tried to approach me. Then our lips overlapped softly and lightly we kissed. Aw, hell yeah, dude.
これ
Closure.
からはしっかりとお付き合いをしていきたいだから何かあったら何でも言ってくれ私の無知でこれ以上葵くんに迷惑をかけたくはないんだ
I want to be your girlfriend officially, so please tell me anything. I don't want to bother you because I'm dumb. I'll tell you anything. We shouldn't hold back.
遠慮しなくていいのか
We don't have to? Yeah. I could see a ploy in her eyes.
ならば明日スクランブル交差点に行こうそしてその真ん中でキスを
Let's go to the scramble intersection and kiss in the very middle. No way.
だって今遠慮しなくていいと言ったではないか
You just said we don't have to hold back. You should not do that in front of people.
葵くんが怒った
Yeah, because you're gonna get hit by a car. Oh, Aoi's mad. Of course I am.
人前がダメなら電車とホームもダメではないか
If we can't do it in front of people, we can't kiss on the train platform. Do we have to go to the next stop just for that? We should go somewhere else, somewhere instead.
一緒に乗ったのでは窓越しのキスができないぞ
But if we do, we can't kiss through the window. That's not the point.
では
Okay then. I'm not getting on a ship either. I'll think about it if it's a date, but not for a kiss.
葵くんは意地悪だ
No, you're stubborn. Right. Right now there is just you and me here. Isn't it very romantic?
二人きりの空間
Just you and me. That's right. Just you and me.
二人きりか確かに今は二人きりだな
Yeah, that's right. Just you and me now. She repeated my words happily and smiled.
いろいろと考えすぎて肝心なことが見えていなかったようだすまない
I didn't see what's important because I was thinking too hard. Sorry. It's okay as long as it's okay as long as you've got it. I'm very happy to sleep with my head on your lap.
私も葵くんとこうしているだけで幸せだぞなんかとても安心する
I mean, hey, and who could blame him for that? Absolutely nobody. I mean, look at her. She's amazing. Anyway, she's best girl, obviously. Anyway, I'm very happy to be with you like this. I feel comfortable.
会えない間よくあの日のキスのことを思い出してたその時は不思議と胸がドキドキした
I thought about our kiss a lot while I couldn't see you. It made my heart pound. I remember that sometimes, and my heart pounded too.
葵くんは私に安心とドキドキをくれる大好きだ
Oh, this is so cute, dude. Aoi, you make me feel comfortable. I love you. She said it from the bottom of her heart and hugged my head again. I'm so very happy. But the clock on the wall threw cold water on her happiness. Don't you have to go home? Yes. You'll miss the last train if you don't hurry. I'll take you to the station. I don't want to end it like that, but it's not good that she misses the last train.
平気だここは机とエアコンがあって快適だからな
I'll be fine. There's a desk and AC here. It's comfortable. He's just silent. No way. How long has it been since you went home? I asked her timidly. She started counting on her fingers, holding her head.
そう
I don't know. She counted at least five nights. Are you settling down here again? She nodded curiously. When I saw that, I lost my motivation again. He's like, all right, screw it. I'll stay with you. You want to hang out in the garage? Fine. I'm home.
やっと帰ってきた
You're back, finally.
おかえりなさい葵先輩
Hello, Aoi.
ずいぶん遅かったのね
You came home late. Well, yeah. He's like, yeah, obviously. Hang on a minute. I probably should resync really quick. All right, hang on. I'm gonna resync really fast. It's been an hour into the recording. I have a kind of a sort of a new policy. I'm gonna try and syncing every hour, more or less, even on other games, because I'm noticing when I record on PC, the settings I did helped, but the problem is I'm still noticing it desyncs. My audio and my recording are different, so you know, I do know how one way of fixing it, but I would have to change how I do my audio, and for regular gameplay, in some ways it'd be less convenient, and in other ways it'd be more convenient, so it's like, it's kind of a toss-up. But anyway, I'm gonna resync really quick, give me 1 minute. Alright, we're back. Anyway, Katori saw me being embarrassed and noticed something.
その顔は何かいいことあったな
As a matter of fact, did something good happen? She grins. Yes, more than you could imagine. I'll tell you just in case. Amane and I are together now. I told them curtly because I was shy.
へえ
Wow.
やった
Yay.
でかした葵くん
Way to go, Aoi. And Amane.
お邪魔します
Excuse me.
何なんであまねちゃん連れてきたの
What? Why did you bring her here? Because she lived here.
え
Huh? She settled down in the garage again.
へえ
What? That's why I brought her here.
あまねちゃんあなたって
Amane, you are...
面目ない
Sorry. On the way home, Amane was nagged at and was downright despondent. He's like, woman, you can't just crash in the garage. He's like, you have to have a bed to sleep in, and like hot and like food. It's like, I can't believe you're still alive. It's a really good thing that that her and Aoi are together, because now she'll like have food and stuff.
おーなんか形になってきたね
Ooh, flashback. Hey, it's starting to look like something.
ああそうだな
Yeah, really.
この調子でいけば意外とすぐに飛べるんじゃない
If we keep this up, we'll be flying before we know it.
私は飛べなくていい
No thanks, I'm good.
なんでさ絶対気持ちいいって
Why? It feels great.
そうだろうかきっと怖いだけだ
I doubt it. It's probably just scary.
こんなものいっそ完成しなければいいのに
I'd rather we didn't finish this thing.
へへそれは無理だね
That's not gonna happen.
だって五十嵐くんがいるもん
Because we have Igarashi. She's like,
彼すごいよねあんな難しいこと軽々やっちゃうんだもん
isn't he great? He does all that hard stuff so easily.
それにすごく紳士的だしかっこいいよね
And he's such a gentleman and so handsome. She's just silent.
およよまたやきもちっすか
Hey, what's this? Are you getting jealous again?
違う私は彼と違って手先が不器用であまり役にも立てていない
No, I'm not like him because I'm so clumsy and useless.
そんなことないないあまねがいなきゃソアリング部作る許可もらえなかったし
That's not true. Without you, we wouldn't have even gotten permission to make the soaring club.
そんなの私が何かしたわけじゃない
It's not like I did anything to make that happen.
それに設計図書いてくれるんでしょこの子よりもっとすごいグライダーの
And besides, you drew the diagrams, and they're for a much better glider than this one.
ああそのつもりだ
Well, that's what I was trying to do.
この機体はよくできているが細部まで煮詰められてはいない
The craft is coming along well, but I haven't got the details down yet.
おそらく海外の有名なグライダーを参考にしたのだろうが機能を理解せずに模倣した形跡があって
I might have just been copying famous to foreign-made gliders. There's evidence of where I imitated certain functions without understanding them.
はいストップその話はおしまい
Okay, stop. That conversation is over.
どうしてだ
Why?
頭こんがらがるからそういうのはあんたに一任します
Because it gets me all mixed up. Look, I trust you with all that.
そうか
Oh.
飛ぶの怖がってる割には設計図書いたり手伝ってくれるんだね
In spite of your fear of flying, you're drawing diagrams and helping.
それはイスカが約束してくれたからだ
That's because you promised me.
あの雲の上まで私を連れて行くって
You promised to take me above the clouds.
あまねにも夢見る乙女回路がちゃんとあったんだね
Cute little laugh. You've got dreams like other girls too, huh?
絶対行けるよあまねがいて五十嵐くんがいてくれればできないことなんてないって
This will definitely work out. With you and Igarashi too, there's nothing we can't do. Okay. Thanks to Tatsuya joining the soaring club, the restoration of the glider went smoothly. Just like Isuka said, he was an amazing person. Because he had to help out around his house, he couldn't come every day, but even still, he did more than Isuka and I combined.
ところでさ、前から言おうと思ってたんだけど。
By the way, I meant to mention it before, but...
なんだ?
What?
そのメガネ、似合ってないよ。
Those glasses don't suit you.
そうか?
Really?
アマネはせっかく美人さんなんだからさ、コンタクトにした方がいいって。
You're a beautiful girl. You should wear contacts instead. Hey, they both look cute. Excuse you, Isuka. They're both adorable.
そうだろうか。
Oh yeah?
きっとモテモテだよ。
Yeah, it can make you really popular with the boys.
別にモテモテじゃなくていいぞ。
I don't really care if I'm not popular.
相変わらずお子ちゃまだな、アマネは。
You never change, huh, Amane? Time was passing in slow motion. When I was with Isuka, it was like the whole world was glittering. I remember that it was almost like that time would last for all eternity. I didn't notice at all just how important that glittering time was. I'd imagine the restoration going smoothly and the test flight waiting before me. I was living my days like a kid waiting in line to get a flu shot. Yeah, a little tear, and then the inevitable happened, which we...
望月先生、荷物を届けに上がりました。
Which, yeah, I guess I don't know specifically what happened to Isuka. I don't remember if that was covered, like specifically what happened. Anyway, Miss Mochizuki, I took the package upstairs.
おお。
Oh. Since early this morning, there has been a man at the Flying Fish Manor bringing packages in.
どこへ運べばいいんでしょ
Where should I take this?
私の部屋は2階の一番奥だ。
My room, second floor, furthest room back. Oh, is she like officially moving in, dude? That's freaking awesome. That is awesome.
う。わかりました。
Gotcha.
何何騒ぎ
What is going on?
か。
Hearing the noise, Katori and Hat stuck their heads out from their room. I heard their tools for Amane's work. The other day, I discovered that she was living in the school garage, and before I knew it, I had forced her to come stay at Flying Fish Manor. And after that, she officially moved in. Absolutely! More access to the girlfriend? That's freaking awesome. She's not a Keifu Academy student, but she is a lecturer, and it's good for her commute. Anyway, since there's a room open, we got permission from the owner. In good spirit, she called the lab and got the tools she needs for work sent here, but...
すごい量ね。
Wow, this is heavy. Yeah, really. Several computers, a drafting printer, and that must be the 3D scanner. More and more equipment and tools with unknown purposes and applications are carried in. The room is turned into a research lab.
お願いします、望月先生。ラボに戻ってきてくださいよ。
Please come back to the lab, Miss Mochizuki.
やだ。
No thanks.
そんな困るんですよ、先生。
What? That's no good, Miss Mochizuki. The older man begged Amane desperately.
だってあそこにいると君たちはどんどん私の仕事を増やそうとするだろう。
But if I'm there, you will all try to give me more and more work.
それは。
That's...
それにここにいる方がリラックスできて仕事もはかどるんだ。
Besides, being here, I can relax and make more progress on my work.
しばらく帰るつもりはないと父にも伝えておいてくれ。
Tell my father that I won't be back for a little while. He just groans. Seeing a grown man of reasonable age being swayed by Amane makes me realize what an amazing person she is.
にしてもあれね、研究所の人って本当に白衣着てるのね。
Say, researchers really wear those white coats, huh? Oh yeah. And that's a great development. While she moves in, we prepare breakfast like we always do. Guess we're gonna need extra big portions today. Amane will eat about that much.
にしてもまたガレージに住み着いてたなんて進歩がないわね、あまねちゃんも。
So she was living in the garage again. She's not making any progress, is she? Katori is grinning while she says such mean things. She seems beside herself. She seems beside herself with joy now that she can live with Amane again.
ああいうちょっと抜けた人には葵くんのようなしっかり者がお似合いだわ。
An airhead like her and a guy like you with his head on his shoulders makes a good couple.
パットもそう思うでしょ。
Hat thinks so too, don't you?
そう思うって。
He says he does. It's so reassuring that you can get a duck to agree with you.
朝から動き回ってお腹が空いたぞ。
I've been all over the place this morning. I'm so hungry. Amane comes tottering into the dining hall. Breakfast will be done soon. How is moving coming along?
もう終わる。
I'm done already. She sits down, clearly exhausted. Katori, could you bring everyone some cold tea?
わかった。ハット、おいで。
Sure, come on, Hat.
わわ。
Katori puts the tray of barley on her knees and heads with Hat to the front door. I put a glass of barley tea in front of Amane. Here you are. Amane? Hug. What? Suddenly she stood up and hugged me. She hugged me so that my head was pressed into her chest. Hey, Amane!
朝から幸せだ。
Ah, she's so cute, dude. I've been so happy since this morning. She mutters with a happiness that comes from the heart. I can't tear myself away from her hearing that. Katori's gonna come back soon.
そうか。
Oh, right. I'm trying to be patient
そ
too.
う言われると嬉しくて余計離れたくなくなるぞ。
When you say that, it makes me so happy I want to let go even less. Yeah, but for now, please be patient and let go. I don't enjoy being ridiculed.
それもそうだな。しょうがない。言うことを聞くよ。その前に、これからはずっと一緒だな。
Yeah, there's that too. Oh well, I guess I will. But first I want to say, from now on, we'll be together forever. Yeah.
か。
He's like, oh no! Oh, let's see, there we go. It's like I knew. Oh no.
荷物運び終わったから帰るって。
They said they finished bringing in the packages, so they're going home. She says, coming in after Hat. Evidently, we finished without being seen. Thank you. I'm so glad Hat came back first.
あまねちゃん、あまねちゃん、今日からまた一緒ね。
Amane, we're together again from today on.
ああ、一緒だ。
Yup, together again. Replying happily, Amane patted the likewise happy Katori on the head. Like I thought, Amane is defenseless against her. If she's not careful, it will reflect. That's freaking awesome, dude. Such good developments. Much wow.
アゲハ、こここんなもんでいいか？
Hey, look who it is. Aga, is this fine here?
オッケー、上手上手。
Yep, that's good. That's good.
あーちゃん、こっちは？
Hey, it's Hotaru, someone else you don't see all the time. Agaha, how about this one?
おー、さすがはマイシスター。いい感じだよ。
Yeah, that's my sister. Nicely done. Mabo and Hotaru came to help, and the restoration of the craft was going very smoothly. Of course, Hotaru was gonna come help, but I never expected Mabo to come by.
チックショー、騙されたぜ。
Damn it, I've been had. Huh?
お前に彼女ができたって言うから見に来たんだよ。そしたら、はい、手伝ってだもんな。
Yeah, won't he be surprised? He's like, yeah, that's right. Amane is my girlfriend. He's like, wow, you're so weird, dude. You're dating a teacher. You're so lucky. Anyway, I only came here to see your girlfriend that I heard about. Now I've got to help with this stuff.
あの人だよね。青兄の彼女さん。
It's that person, right? Your girlfriend, I mean. Hotaru points to the other side of the garage.
ここの潤滑を良くすることでこっちの関節の方。
With some lubricant on these joints here. She's working now. Unaware of the rumors being said about her, Amane was staring at the computer screen and muttering something to herself. Yep. Hotaru and Mabo both know Amane, but it appears they had no idea that it was she who was my girlfriend. I guess it is a little unexpected.
綺麗な人だよね。すごく優しいし。
She's pretty, really beautiful.
くっそ、いいな。美人な上に年上かよ。
Yeah, see, Mabo gets it. Damn, lucky. On top of being beautiful, she's an older woman. I've heard that Mabo broke up with the girlfriend he used to brag about. Oh, really? Mister, I'm too good for my friends because I have a girlfriend. Well, well. Look what didn't pan out. Now he's all jealous. Anyway. He said it was because their taste in music didn't match, but I don't get it.
ほらほら、だべってないで作業に集中する。
He probably got dumped and is too proud to admit it. Anyway, hey, quit your yapping and focus on your work.
んだ、誰も手伝うなんて言ってねえのによ。
Never even said I wanted to help. While muttering complaints, Mambo keeps moving. All in all, he's a good and friendly guy. Is he? He's kind of a jerk. He's never friendly. Like, he's almost never friendly. There's only been a couple of times. Like, deep down, it's obvious he cares, but he's like a male tsundere going on. You know what I mean? There are lots of tsundere going on here. Like, you know, way too proud to admit it. I don't know why. He's definitely not friendly, though. That's clearly not it. Anyway, we had plenty of help, so I could focus on the simulator. Flight seems more difficult to control than before the improvements. The tendencies it had are accentuated. Since the craft was designed for the express purpose of flying the Morning Glory, of course that goes without saying. Everyone's making the glider Amane is designing. I will pilot it. They're gonna let me do the best part. I can't afford to fail. We can't let it come within grasp and then slip away before our eyes like it did last year. Thinking about that again brings back bitter memories and breaks my concentration. Not enough training. Looking ahead blurrily, I saw Amane, who I expected to be working, holding and gazing at the picture frame that was on the desk. Is it the one with the Morning Glory picture? I walked up from behind and peeked at the photo with her. Yep. Those are some amazing clouds, huh? I can understand why Isuka longed for them. Yeah. She replied, sounding ambiguous. Looking at this picture, I had a strange thought. What's up? Nothing. It's just that last year we saw that cloud, and I was thinking, could it have been the Morning Glory? Huh? It's like, if you look at it this way, doesn't it look totally different? Housed in the small photograph was the magnificent picture of the clouds. Outside the frame of this photo must have been an even more amazing sight. Compared to the last one, the clouds we saw last year were beautiful, but maybe I'm thinking too hard about this. Whether it's a mere difference in size or perhaps this picture was just taken very well, whatever the case, sounds like that these are not a dime a dozen. Ah, so that could be it. If the thing last year wasn't actually Morning Glory, then that could explain why it happened again, you know what I mean? Anyway, sorry about that. I didn't really mean anything by it. I apologize and went back to the simulator. For a time, Amane looked at the photograph. Interesting. And just like that summer vacation passed before our eyes, when I noticed the Obon Festival was looming just ahead. On that day... Hey, Amane, look! Ta-da! The wings, assembled but unpainted, were there, finished. Oh. We just have to put them on, sand them, and paint them, and then they're done. Yeah, but that's no easy task. We've already done this much, huh? Amane looks over every nook and cranny of the newly assembled wings. Yeah, these are well done. The process technology is perfect. That's because Anchan taught us. Say, how do you feel? You know, seeing what you designed taking shape and all. Yeah, She looks troubled. Hasn't she already had this experience a number of times? Oh, right. That is your job, huh? Oh, right. Oops. Katori seems bored. We all wanted her to be as happy as we were. That's how I felt too. Yeah, but it is a strange feeling. When I see it taking shape like this, little by little, it lifts my spirits. But faintly, her eyes were glimmering. When we all saw that, Katori and then all of us, our eyes started glimmering too. I can't wait to see it fly in the sky. And I've got to come along. Hearing that, Agaha goes over to the wall of our workplace. Ahem. Everyone, may I have your attention? She got everyone's attention. On the wall, there was a chart of the processes planned. The places where corrections have been made in red pen catches everyone's attention. Thanks to Mabo and Hotaru here, it seems that we'll be able to cut down on the manufacturing time. Oh. Upon hearing our jeering, Agaha adds a new correction to the chart. How much did we shorten the manufacturing time by? Roughly by 4 days. Oh, awesome. Of course, for those 4 days, we had Mabo and Hotaru's help, but Agaha and Katori worked really hard, and Asa and Yoru getting into the groove of their work really helped too. Everyone felt like this, focusing every day on making this glider was that precious summer vacation.
ことは
And that means?
はいテストフライトも4日早くできるってことです
Yep, we can do the test flight 4 days early too. What, really? That means right after Oban. Agaha nods strongly.
もちろんこのまま何の問題も起きなきゃだけどね
Of course, that is assuming we don't have any problems first.
今まで通り焦らず慎重に進めるべきだと思うわ
I think we ought to keep on going like we have been.
だな余裕あるからってヘマこくよりリードした分丁寧にやった方がいいだろ
Yeah, right. We have time, so rather than messing it all up, we use our lead to be more careful.
マー君早く終わらせて遊びたいって言ってたのに
But Ma-kun, you said you want to hurry up and finish so we can play.
俺は単にここまで手伝ったんだから半端なことになるのが嫌なだけだよ
Yeah, there's that Sundre. You almost gave away that you cared. God forbid. Anyway, oh yeah, well I've helped this much, so I don't want to do it halfway.
というわけでテストフライトは今月15日に行います
So that means we'll have the test flight on the 15th of this month. From everyone, there was a chorus of joy. Whatever, ignoring that word. So I can finally fly. My voice bled excitement as I whispered to myself. 1 year since we were chased from this garage, and we can finally fly the skies over Kazagura. Hell yeah. While everyone else was happy, Amane alone appeared lost in thought. What's wrong, Amane?
実はな私からもみんなに話があるんだ
Yeah, actually, I also have something to say to everyone. Everyone quieted down and looked at Amane.
先日葵くんが話してただろモーニンググローリーについて
The other day, Aoi talked about the morning glory, right? What did I say?
言ってたじゃないか去年私たちが飛んだあの雲が本当にモーニンググローリーだったのかって
You did, right? Last year, that cloud we flew, that it was the morning glory. Yeah. It just come to me, so I'd already forgotten about it.
それでちょっと気になって調べてみたんだ
So I got a little curious and I looked into it. Amane went to her seat and turned the computer monitor so that everyone could see. There displayed on the screen side by side were the photos and video scans the alumni took and those of last year's flight too.
こっちの雲
Ah, this cloud.
私たちが去年の夏風車の丘から見た雲だわ
The clouds we saw last summer from Windmill Hill. Asa and Yoru went to Windmill Hill that day and saw those clouds. It's such an impressive scene, they must really remember it very easily.
この写真がどうかしたんですか
So, is there something wrong with this photo?
ここに写っている2つの雲はよく似ているだから私も疑わなかったこれらが違う現象かもしれないとは
The two clouds in these photos are very similar. That's why I never thought twice that they may be a different phenomenon.
けれど葵くんは違うかもしれないと言っていたそれが気になって調べてみたんだ
But Aoi pointed out that they might be different. That got me thinking and I checked it out. Not understanding what Amane was talking about, everyone listened silently.
厳密に言うとあの雲はモーニンググローリーとは呼べないものだった
Strictly speaking, that cloud cannot really be called a morning glory. So which means there's hope we'll see it. Huh?
どういうことですか
What?
発生のメカニズムは似ているが規模が全然違う
The mechanism that it originates from is similar, but the scale is completely different.
あの雲はモーニンググローリーになろうとしてしかし何かが足りず途中で消えてしまったいわば出来損ないだったんだ
Oh, that cloud tried to become a morning glory, but along the way something was lacking and it disappeared. It was the runt of the litter, so to speak. A runt? I looked closely at the photos lined up on the screen. Surely the scale was different, or rather, it was that the cloud we saw last year appeared to be in the process of becoming a morning glory.
じゃあ去年起きたんだからもうしばらくは起こらないって言ってたあれは
So what? That's what you were saying? That since it happened last year, it's not going to happen again anytime soon? That is what Amane said to us when she refused to be our supervisor. You know, the first time.
あれは間違いだった近いうちに起こる可能性がある
That wasn't right. It is Sorry, too fast. It is possible for it to occur close together.
あの雲こそが今年の夏に本物のモーニンググローリーが現れる予兆だったんだ
What that cloud was a sign of the coming morning glory. Amane's words were enveloped by the noisy chatter that erupted in the garage.
もちろん何か根拠があるんですよね
Of course, it takes root and develops from there. Amane nods.
私が新型の風車を建てるプロジェクトに参加していることは知っていると思う。
I think you're all aware that I'm contributing to a new windmill project.
その仕事の資料として過去に観測された風ヶ浦の詳細な気象データを閲覧できるようになった。
As a resource for that work, I have gained access to the past weather data for Kazagura. Ah, that's convenient. Amane put that data on the LCD screen before her.
それを調べてみたところ面白いことが分かった。
Looking into that, I learned something interesting.
面白いこと？
Something interesting?
今から28年前 OB の人たちが飛んだモーニンググローリーが発生した前年の8月26日に
28 years ago, the alumni flew the Morning Glory that appeared, and on August 26th of the previous year,
私と葵くんがフライトしたあの雲と同じ現象が風ヶ浦で起こっていた可能性が高い。
it is very likely that a cloud phenomenon occurred that was the same as the one Aoi and I flew in Kazagura.
それってどういうことですか？
What does that mean?
つまりかつて本物のモーニンググローリーが現れた前年の夏にも出来損ないの雲が現れていたってことね。
In other words, it means the summer before the real Morning Glory appeared, there was a runt cloud. Amane explains it simply for those of us that can't follow along, and Yoru looks over the past weather data displayed on the screen. The rest of us can't understand even if we look at the data, but this girl might be able to.
出来損ないの雲が発生した翌年本物のモーニンググローリーが出現しているんだ。
The year following the occurrence of a runt cloud, a real Morning Glory emerges.
たまたまってことはないんですか？
So that means that it doesn't just happen by chance? Amane shakes her head.
それが希少な現象なのだとすれば2年連続で似た現象が起こることの方が可能性は低い。
Considering that it is a rare phenomenon, the chances that it will continue 2 years in a row are quite low.
だから私はこう仮説を立ててみたんだ。あれはモーニンググローリーが出現する大きな予兆なのではないかと。
That's why I tried to put this hypothesis together. I've been wondering whether that could be a sign of a coming Morning Glory. Our breath is taken away by her words, stated clearly like that. More so than a hypothesis, we heard those words as a vague prophecy.
データを見たって私たちにはわからないけど。
We looked at the data, but we didn't understand. But that prophecy-like hypothesis has taken root in us just enough for us to believe. I believe. Right. None other than the prestigious Amane Mochizuki is saying it. None other, sorry.
可能性があるというだけで必ずとは言い切れない。
It only means that there is a possibility. I can't say anything definite about it.
何せ風ヶ浦におけるモーニンググローリー発生のメカニズムは解明されていないからな。
Anyway, the mechanism behind the Morning Glory occurrences in Kazagura has not been investigated.
筑波山を越えてくる山岳波の影響であることは間違いないんだが。
No doubt the lee waves coming over Mount Sukube or something like that have an effect.
それで十分よ。
That's enough for me.
そうです。先輩にそう言っていただけただけで私ら頑張れるんですから。
Yeah, all we need is to hear it from you like that and we'll do our very best.
いい話聞かせてもらっちゃいました。
This is great news.
よーし、もうひと踏ん張りするわよ。
Yeah, I'm holding my ground.
ほんと単純ね。
It's really simple, huh?
俺らも最後まで付き合うか。
Guess we might as well stick around to the end now.
そうだね。青兄たちが飛んでるところ見てみたいし。
Yeah, you're right. Besides, I want to see him fly. The test flight and the Morning Glory that might appear this year. Our spirits and determination are inexorably rising. That's a weird word. I've heard it before, but it's still weird. It's still a weird word.
いいお湯だった。
That was a nice long bath. Hot bath, sorry.
あまねちゃん。
Hey, Amane.
いやー、小鳥。
Hey, Katori.
ちょっといいかな。
Do you have a second? Ooh.
何か用か？
What's up?
これ返そうと思って。
I thought I'd return this. Ah, the flight log.
イスカの高校日誌じゃないか。
Is that Isuka's flight log?
やっぱり私が持っているのは変でしょ？
Yeah, it is weird that I had it, huh?
そんなことないと思うが。
It's not like that, but
あまねちゃんが持っておくべきものだと思う。だってそこに出てくる大親友はあまねちゃんのことなんだから。
No, I think you should have it. I mean, the best friend she mentions in there must be you.
私ね、実は昔、そんな昔じゃないわ。たった1年前のことよ。
Me, huh? Actually, long ago, I feel like that me should probably have been. I don't know. I think this happened earlier. That like several slides ago, there was a sentence that sounded like it was it was the reply, but also the next sentence. I think that's a bug. I think the me, huh, is supposed to be Amane, and then Kotori starts on actually. I think that's what that's supposed to be, because otherwise it makes no sense otherwise. Anyway, actually, long ago, no, not so long ago, just a year ago.
学校が大嫌いで、友達もいなくて、何も楽しいことがなくて。
I hated school. I had no friends, and there was nothing fun about it.
学校を辞めて家に帰ろうとしてたの。
I tried to quit school and go home.
そうなのか。
Oh.
友達なら大勢いるじゃないか。学校もいつも楽しそうだ。
Do you not have lots of friends? It always seems like you're having fun at school. She's like, well, I am now.
それはあまねちゃんと出会ってからよ。葵くんがここの寮母になって、アゲハと友達になって。
That's after I met you, and Aoi became our dorm mother, and I became friends with Ageha.
朝と夜が入部してきて、他にもたくさんの人たちと知り合って。
Asa and Yoru joined the club, and I made lots of other friends.
今じゃやりたいこともたくさんあって、ほんと毎日が楽しいわ。
Now there are so many things I want to do. Every day really is fun.
でもその前は思い出すと寒気がするくらいどん底で、本気で学校を辞めようとしてたの。
But before that, everything makes me shiver. It was so bleak. I was serious about quitting school.
でもそれは人生を自分からドブに投げ捨てるようなもので、葵くんがそれを踏みとどまらせてくれたんだけど。
But that would be like throwing my life away like one does a white dove. Aoi made me hold on to that.
葵くんやあまねちゃんと出会う前の私って本当嫌な子で、友達一人もいなかったのね。
And before I met you or Aoi, I had no friends, and I really hated myself.
そんな私にとってその日記は数少ない救いみたいなものだったの。
For me, that diary was like my salvation.
この日誌がかい？
This diary?
イスカってもしかして友達少なかったんじゃない？
Isuka, I suppose she didn't have many friends?
よくわかったな。友達と呼べそうなのは私と達也くらいだったぞ。
You got it. Tatsuya and I were about the only ones she could call her friends.
やっぱり
I thought so.
なんか似てたのよ。そういう雰囲気。本当は友達欲しいくせに自分からは言えなくて、隅っこでイジイジしてるような。
The atmosphere seems similar somehow. Even though I want friends, I can't say it, and it's almost like I'm just being timid in the corner.
シンパシーを感じたってやつね。
I feel for her, I mean.
だからね、私毎日学校から帰ってきて、この部屋でその日記を読みながら。
And that's why every day after school I would come home, and while I read that diary in this room,
イスカのことを自分の親友だって思うことにしてたの。
I'd think like Isuka was my friend too. Aw, that's so sweet. My feels, dude.
イスカと一緒に空を飛ぶ夢を見て、自分もグライダー作りに参加してる気分だったわ。
Dreaming of flying the skies with Isuka, I felt like contributing to making a glider myself.
そうすることで寂しさを紛らわせてたの。
And doing so distracted me from my loneliness. Aw, my feels,
そういえ
dude.
ば君はこの日誌を読んでグライダーに興味を持ったって言ってたの。
You know, that is true though. It's like Isuka brought the whole club together, even if before it was a thing. You know what I mean? Like, because of it, Kotori found the diary, and then she read it, and it got her interested, and then obviously Aoi was living in the dorm at that time, and so he just by chance ran into Amane, but then Kotori got there. You know what I mean? Indirectly, Isuka kind of got the whole ball rolling. You know what I mean? Anyway, now that you mention it, you said that reading that diary got you interested in gliders.
そっか。ずっとイスカと一緒に夢を見ていたのか。
Huh. I didn't realize you'd been dreaming with Isuka this whole time.
日記の中に登場する大親友のことも想像したわ。どんな子なんだろうって。
I also imagined the best friend that appeared in this diary. I wondered what kind of girl she was.
すごく頭が良くて綺麗で、けどちょっと変な子だって書いてあったわ。
It said that she was incredibly smart and beautiful, though a little strange.
あ、私も読んだぞ。
Yeah, I read it too.
その子とも友達になれたらって思ってた。
I thought if I could make friends with this girl.
じゃあもう慣れたじゃないか。
But you have.
なんか変な感じだけど。
Yeah, but it's a strange feeling.
本当に君はイスカに導かれてあのガレージへ来たんだな。
You were really guided by Isuka when you came to that garage.
だから私にとってイスカは大恩人なの。
Yep, that's why I really owe her.
彼女が聞いたら喜ぶだろう。
If she could hear you, she'd be really happy.
そうかな。
Yeah, maybe.
それならやっぱりこの日誌は。
Come to think of it, maybe you should have...
私のは想像だもの。イスカが一番大切にしていたのはあなたよ、アマネちゃん。
No, I'm just pretending. You're the one who was the most important to Isuka.
イスカが見た夢を見続けるんだったら持っててほしいの。
If you...
友達として。
Sorry, too fast. If you're gonna continue on her dream, I want you to have it, as her friend.
友達として。
As her friend.
もうすぐアマネちゃんがイスカのために設計した翼が完成するわ。
Pretty soon, you're gonna finish the wings you're gonna finish the wings you designed for her.
テストフライトが楽しみね。
I'm looking forward to the test flight.
ああ、楽しみだ。
Yeah, me too.
あ、それからこの話誰にもしちゃダメよ。特に葵くんとか絶対笑うから。
Oh, and hey, please don't tell anyone about what I said. Even Aoi, they definitely laugh.
笑わないと思うぞ。
Oh, I don't think so.
笑わなくてもダメ。だって恥ずかしいもん。
I was about to say, they definitely wouldn't laugh. They definitely wouldn't. Even if they wouldn't, you can't tell them. I'd be so embarrassed.
わかった。君と私との秘密だ。
I understand. It'll be our secret. Yeah. Aw, my feels, dude. That was adorable. That was so cute. Fantastic. That was awesome. I bet you she's pondering what the talk her and Gitori had. Amane?
いや、葵くん。
Hey, I thought there might be some signs of life from the dining hall, and I peeked in. Amane had her notebook open on the table. What's going on that's got you here so late? Asked like that, she checked the clock on the wall. It was already around midnight.
もうこんな時間なのか。
Oh, it is late. It seems that she got too focused and forgot about the time. The notebook she had open was Isuka's flight log.
小鳥が私が持っておくべきだと言って。
Kotori said I should hold on to this. I think so too. Yeah. I got a drink from the fridge, poured 2 glasses, and put one in front of her.
ありがとう。
Thanks. You look really happy while you read that. While you read that, probably, sorry. She laughs and looks impressed, looks perplexed, sad, and twists her face as if to retch. Maybe it's because the time you spent with Isuka was so happy. That was a little painful for me. The most precious time for Amane was not the time with me, but the time she spent with her friend Isuka. But this wasn't something I wanted. It was just jealousy. And I still have our future ahead of me.
イスカは私に色をくれた。
Isuka brought color to my life. Color? She nods.
彼女と出会う以前、私の世界はモノトーンだった。
Before I met her, my world was monotone. What do you mean? The world was monotone.
そのまんまだ。私には世界がそう見えていたんだ。
I mean what I said. That's how the world looked to me. She must mean that the world looked like a black and white video.
別に色を認識できないわけじゃない。リンゴは赤く見えるし、晴れた空は青く映る。
Right, it's metaphorical, but you know, she's like everything was gray. It was like there was no excitement. It was very like nothing to be super incredibly happy about. You know what I mean? Like it's obviously it's a metaphor. It's not like I can't recognize color. Apples look red. The clear sky looks blue.
けど感じないんだ。色を。
But that's how I felt. That color, huh?
多分私が楽しんでいなかったせいなんだと思う。
I think I probably wasn't having fun. You weren't? She nods gently.
以前の私はこの世界に正しい答えは一つだと思っていた。
I used to think that there was only one right answer in this world.
どんな問いにも本当に正しい答えは一つ。それが当然だと信じて疑ってなかった。
To any question, that there was really only one answer. I believed it as a matter of course, without any doubt.
そんな私にイスカが言ったんだ。
Isuka said to me,
バカだな。
"You're dumb." Huh, dumb, she said.
ああ、バカだ。
Yep, dumb. Amane told me of these memories happily somehow and with pride.
初めてだったんだ。 人からバカと言われたのは。
That was the first time anyone had ever called me dumb.
それまで誰もが私に対しては賢いだの天才だのとしか言わなかったから。
Before that, no one had ever called me anything other than smart or brilliant. Well, you know, at face value, this seems like having someone call you dumb is weird, right? But, like, I don't know. If you think about it from, like, Amane's perspective here, like, obviously, she's very, very smart. So, like, everyone holds her up on that pedestal of, oh, she's brilliant, or, oh, she's legendary, or you know what I mean? Like, everyone has all these expectations about her. So, but, like, you know, they value her like, I don't know, her book smarts. She's very brilliant and smart, and so everyone values that part about her, that she's very intelligent. There's lots of book smart there. But Isuka didn't care, like, whatever Amane's IQ is. You know what I mean? So, like, in my opinion, this is my translation here, but I don't think that Isuka cared about Amane's, like, IQ number. You know what I mean? Like, for her, she didn't, I don't feel like that she valued how academically smart you might be. So for her, you know, calling Amane dumb is because it's, like, not, like, necessarily in a mean way, but in, like, you know, like, I don't know. She's not, you're not the super hyper intelligent, super brilliant, you know, very high Q number person in the things that, like, Isuka cared about, like, you know, like flying or chasing things that make you happy, or, you know, because Isuka's her focus was on very different things. Keep in mind, of course, with the limited information we have about Isuka, it seems like she chases whatever makes her happy. That's what's important to her. And Amane is obviously not wired that way. She's very academically smart, very, very intelligent, but she doesn't chase things that made her happy. She said obviously her world was monotone, and so I feel like that, you know, I feel like that with Isuka, I feel like that was the first time Amane had been exposed to, like, someone that was so wired so different, like Isuka was. And so I feel like that was because that was her first exposure, it gave her such a different perspective that she didn't know existed. And that's basically my translation. Anyway. Since a young age, Amane was probably hailed as a child prodigy by all those around her. No doubt that there was no one that called that child dumb. However, Isuka was wrong. She probably just said it like it was nothing.
私は当然わからなかった。なぜ私がバカと言われたのか。
Of course, I didn't understand why I was called dumb.
すると、イスカはこんな風に続けた。
And then Isuka went on like this.
正しいとか間違ってるとか、
I don't think...
僕はないと思う。
Sorry, too fast. I don't think there is a right or wrong.
それを決められるのは自分だけだ。だってそうだろ？誰かにとって正しくても、他の誰かにとって間違ってるってことはたくさんあるんだ。
You are the only one who can decide what is right for you, don't you think so? Because there are a lot of things that are wrong for other people.
だから僕は僕にとって何が正しいか他人に決められるのなんてごめんだね。
So, I don't want people to decide what's right for me.
迷った時は自分の心に耳を澄ませるといい。あんたの正しい答えはそこにある。
I'll probably just mute myself there. The timing was really weird. I don't know why there's like a dash F there. Oh, it's probably saying if. That's probably what that's supposed to be. If you're confused, you should listen to yourself. That's...
君にも同じことを言われたな。
Yeah, see, I was just about to say that. Yeah, you said the same thing to me too, huh? When she refused to be our supervisor, I said something similar to her. But I was desperate then. It's not like I was thinking that deeply.
イスカの話を聞いて正直すごいショックを受けた。
When I heard her say that, honestly, I was really shocked.
だって試験の問題には正答は一つだけ。それが全世界共通のルールだと信じていたから。
I mean, there's only one answer to a test question. I thought those were the rules of the world.
けどイスカはそんな私を笑い飛ばして正しい答えは人の数だけあるという。
But Isuka laughs at me and says that there are as many answers as there are people.
それで思ったんだ。彼女こそ天才なんじゃないかって。
And that's when I thought that she was the real genius. Come to think of it, Amane did say every time that Isuka is a genius.
イスカが教えてくれたんだ。私はバカだって。
She taught me that I'm dumb.
いやー、危なかったよ。イスカが気づかせてくれなかったら、今もまだ私は天才かもって勘違いしていたところだ。
Oh, sorry, I was just pausing. Normally the music comes back when she's done, just like a little bit louder, so it's like kind of a good audio cue. Anyway, that was a close call. If she hadn't been watching out for me, I might still be parading around thinking, oh, I'm such a genius. Again, she talks joyfully. She often said things like, that's because I'm dumb and whatnot, but at that time she was always proud.
イスカは他にもたくさんのことを教えてくれた。
Isuka taught me a lot of other things too.
風の匂いや降り注ぐ日の光の心地よさや雨の日の憂鬱や冬の寒い日に飲む温かい紅茶の味や
The smell of the wind, the comfort of sunshine, the melancholy of a rainy day, the taste of hot tea on a cold winter day.
授業をサボることやいたずらをすることや学校を抜け出してコンビニへ行くことや
Skipping class and mischief making, leaving the school to go to the convenience store. You're like headed down a slippery slope there.
校舎が建て替わる前はガレージの裏に抜け道があってそこから外へ出られたんだ。
Before the school changed, there was a way outside from the back of the garage.
よくコンビニへ出かけて夏ならアイスクリーム冬はほかほかの肉まんを食べたぞ。
We used to go out all the time and buy ice cream during the summer and warm pork buns in the winter. She looks like any second now she's going to be slobbering and drooling over that food. Maybe at that time she really loved to eat. The story is of some very precious memories, but looking at it from the outside, it's like a bad student taught a bunch of naughty stuff to a good one.
正しいことと間違っていることいいことと悪いこと役に立つものと立たないもの
The right things and the wrong things, the good things and the bad things, the useful and the useless.
物事をそんな風にしか捉えていなかった私にイスカはそうじゃないものがあることを教えてくれた。
I didn't think about things that way, and Isuka taught me that there's more to it.
世界のほとんどはそうじゃなかったんだ。
No, there is more to most things in the world.
そう思えるようになってから世界が輝き出した。小さなきらめきをそこかしこに見つけられるようになった。
After I started thinking that way, the world began to shine. I started to see little sparkles everywhere.
イスカが私の世界に色をくれた。
She gave my world color. Aw, my feels, dude. She tells me about these precious memories with her eyes shining, looking at the profile of her face. Ah, I love her, I thought. Like a boy, my clear eyes are full of curiosity, looking up towards the sky, retaining innumerable countless lights. I came to like and long for Amane's profile. It could be that she really is an unmistakable genius. However, there is no doubt that because of that, everything was in a sort of planned harmony. Regardless of whether or not she can do things, she understands the results. She doesn't enjoy anything, and she has no interest. That may be why she felt like her world was monotone. Meeting Isuka was the key to Amane becoming who she is today. Isuka's a good friend and benefactor. Yeah. She nods deeply. However, those eyes were soon cloudy with sadness.
けれどイスカはいなくなってしまった。
But she's gone now.
何も言わず唐突に
So abruptly, without saying anything.
あの日から私の世界はモノトーンに戻った。
It doesn't tell us exactly what happened, and I really want to know. I don't remember if they said that the first time. I don't remember. Anyway, after that day, my world went back to monotone. As she turned her face, those excited eyes that were so full of hope became the profile of a face sunken with sadness. Seeing that reminded me of something Anshan told me once. After Isuka was gone, Amane changed. She didn't approach people anymore. She says that's how they drifted apart. I can't imagine her that way now, but when I asked her to be our club supervisor, I did sort of get that feeling. It was like she was purposely trying to distance herself from us. But even still, you continued to make the glider on your own. In silence, Amane continued to flip through the diary until she stopped on the last page. Her eyes fell on the words written there. I want to pass through the passage of clouds.
イスカは約束してくれたんだ。私をあの雲の上へ連れて行ってくれるって。
There's some sort of typo here. I'm trying to figure out. Maybe it was that? Okay, I'm just gonna improvise with what I think this is supposed to say. Isuka promised me. She said that she would take me above those clouds.
別に行きたくないという私に、そこへ行けば私も絶対感動するからと言って。
She said that even I, who didn't care to go at all, would be moved by it.
私はイスカがいつ戻ってきてもいいように グライダー製作を続けた。
I kept up the construction as if she would come back at any time.
けど本当はなんとなく分かっていたんだ。いつかはもう戻ってこないと。
Wow, it's like the second time I'm gonna have to mute myself for talking over the thing again. Anyway, but deep down, I understood that she wasn't coming back. Then why? Why did she continue to stay in the garage?
あの約束が続く限り、イスカと過ごした時間の中にとどまれる。そう思っていたんだ。
Make that the third time I have to mute myself. Apparently, I'm gonna have to just actually watch my whole freaking recording and editing so I can mute myself 75,000 times. Anyway, I thought that as long as I kept my promise to her, my time with her was frozen in place.
けれど何事にも最後の時は訪れる。
It's so freaking sad, dude. But the last time comes for all things. When we flew last year, that day, huh? Amane nods. As she watched the clouds disappear, she muttered, "This is goodbye." That was probably the resolution to her time with Isuka, the transition of that time into memory. So that's why you tried to refuse becoming our supervisor.
イスカとの思い出に触れるのが辛かったんだ。
I keep pausing for extra long periods because I'm really worried I'm going to talk over it again. Anyway, being, like she's like, like nodding, like saying yes. Being touched by those memories of Isuka again was painful. As she speaks in that apologetic tone, I clasp her hand softly, in order to tell her that there's no need to feel that way. But then why did you come back to us?
楽しんでいたことを思い出したんだ。
I remembered the fun we had.
飛ぶように設計したグライダーが飛ぶ。当たり前のことなのに不思議とドキドキする。
Flying the glider I designed to fly. It's such an obvious thing, but it was a wondrous and exciting feeling.
あの気持ちを葵くんや小鳥やみんなが思い出させてくれた。
Thanks to you and Katori and everyone, I remembered those feelings.
そして気がついたんだ。私にとって大切な時間はイスカと過ごした日々だけじゃないって。
And that's when I noticed. The most precious time for me was not just hanging out with Isuka.
その時間はまだ終わってなかったって。
The most precious time hadn't yet ended.
私が勝手に終わったと思っていただけで、葵くんたちはまだ続けていた。
Oh, dude, my feels, that hurts. I'd only thought it had ended, but really, you guys picked it up where I left off.
私のせいでガレージもグライダーも失ったのに、それでもまだそこにいてくれた。
Even though it was my fault that we lost the garage and the glider, you were all there for me. I put some strength into my hand as I clasped Amane's hand. We continued on, and I have thought time and time again whether or not that was the right thing to do. Honestly, I also thought of quitting many times. If I wanted to fly a glider, there were other ways, there are other fun activities to find if I look. But I couldn't let go. Just like Amane when she couldn't let go of her promise with Isuka. It's too important to want to let go of it. Hey, you're our senior. We listen to everything you say. If you teach us to be dumb, we'll be dumb.
本当だな。みんなバカばっかりだ。
Yeah, we're all dumb. Amane suddenly laughed and wiped a tear from the corner of her eye with a finger.
テストフライトが今から楽しみなんだ。
I'm really looking forward to the test flight now.
みんながやってきたことが形になる瞬間が。
The moment when everyone's work will take shape. The dream you two left to us.
夢。
The dream. She muttered and traced the edge of the notebook with her finger. It could be that she's still hesitant to face her memories of Isuka. How do you see the world now? She stared blankly at me. She stared at me and then returned the hand I held hers with.
ピンク色にキラキラしてる。
It sparkles pink. Huh? The answer I got back was a little different from what I'd expected.
葵くんといるといつもピンク色だ。空気を吸い込むと甘い香りがするんだ。
Oh, so sweet, dude. If you're with me, it's always pink, and the air tastes sweet to breathe. Oh yeah? If I prodded too deeply, I might have spoiled the emotional conversation we just had. It's late. I'm gonna get going. Yeah. When I stood up, Amane, still sitting, held my hand and looked at me with apparent disappointment that I was leaving. I took a quick look at the dining hall entrance and leaned over. Aww. They're so freaking cute, dude. That's a good night kiss. I said shyly. Amane smiled and looked satisfied. Alright, I'm going home.
わかった。おやすみ。
Okay, good night. Technically, he is home. He's going to bed. That's what he means. Like, he is home. She said and slouched onto the desk. What are you doing?
だから寝るんじゃないか。
What do you think? I'm going to sleep. Why don't you go back to your own room?
寝る場所がないんだ。
There's no place to sleep in there. He's just silent. He's like, you didn't move a bed in? Like, you moved all of your research stuff? Why not?
面目ない。
It's too much of a hassle. Her room was buried under heaps of work-related documents and materials, so she lost any space to sleep. What? The dining hall table is no place to sleep.
どうしてだ？扇風機があるし、広々としてて意外と快適だぞ。
Why not? There's a fan and it's pretty big. It's more comfortable than you'd think. This girl. Ooh, sleep in my bed.
いいのか？
May I? Yeah, I'll sleep on the floor. I can't let her sleep in the dining hall, but it's also midnight and we can't clean up her room either.
君はベッドで寝ないのか？
Aren't you gonna sleep in the bed? Nope.
私が床で寝ようか。これでも床で寝るのには慣れているぞ。ラボで鍛えたからな。
Sorry, too early again. That's time number 4. This is gonna be such a pain to edit. I can sleep on the floor. I'm used to it from training in the lab. That's nothing to brag about. Look, I'm on the floor, you're on the bed. That's how they do it in the movies.
そうか。映画ではそういうことになっているのか。なら仕方ないな。葵くんに甘えよう。
Oh, is it? Guess it can't be helped. I'll take advantage of your kindness. It's forced reasoning, but it seems she consented. Sweetly whispering goodnight to me, she got into bed. 3 seconds later, completely unconscious. She's like, wow, sleeping in a bed, an actual bed, makes a lot of difference. What? She's already asleep? She was really good at falling asleep, and I wanted another kiss goodnight. I kissed Amane on the cheek as she slept deeply and went to sleep under my blankets on the floor. That's freaking adorable. I mean, you realize that he's gonna have to invest in like a sleeping bag or something. You know what I mean? Because like, who know? I mean, either that or you have to be like Amane. You've got to clean up your lab. I guess you got to clean up the lab so you can fit a bed in there so you can actually sleep. Like, come on. It's just like this is just so not good for you. You've got to have a real bed to sleep in. He's gonna have, and if not, if that doesn't work, he's gonna have to invest in like a sleeping bag or something. Anyway, from morning on, that day was mostly sunny. Okay, stop.
出る準備はできてるのか？
Are we ready to go? Anchan got out of the pickup truck that pulled up into the front of the garage. Yeah, we're already done loading up.
よし。じゃあ車に繋いでくれ。
Alright, link him up. Agaha connected the trailer to the back of the pickup. The glider was loaded into the trailer.
ついにできたんだな。
Finally, we've got it. Yup. We finished the improvements late last night. Though we had some unexpected trouble that took some tending to, we worked hard late into the night so we could have the test flight on time. Starting today, we face the runway. And then we fly.
できたよ、あんちゃん。
Got it, Anchan.
よし。じゃあ行くか。
Alright, let's go. How nice. But wait, I have to resync. It's the next hour, I've got to resync. Hang on, I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, we're back. You're here. Hey! Katori was waiting at the runway. She had gone ahead to prepare the winch and whatnot. Anchan stopped the truck that was pulling the trailer by the side of the runway.
早速組み立てるわよ。
Let's hurry and put it together. At club leader Katori's command, everyone split up and started the glider's assembly. We unload the piles of disassembled parts from the trailer.
姉さん、そっち持って。
Yoru, hold that.
よいしょ。
Okay, got it.
ぶつけちゃダメよ。慎重にね。
Don't bump into anything, careful. We finished the improvements to the craft last night, so we haven't yet seen it all put together.
違う。そっちじゃないって。もっと下げて根元の方を。
No, not there. Lower it, the foundation. We haven't done this in a year either. While recalling how we did this last summer, we teach this to the new members.
ようやく形になったんだな。
Finally, we've got something. Yeah.
どうだ？
How do you feel? Sorry, too fast. How do you feel?
なんだか不思議な気持ちだよ。つい最近まで 私にとってこのグライダーは架空の存在だった。
Ugh, sorry. Sort of strange. Until recently, this glider was like a figment of my imagination.
ただの思いつき、幻の翼。
Just phantom wings that I dreamt up.
ああけどあいつらが本当に作っちまった。
Yeah, but they really did make them.
さっきから心臓がドキドキうるさいんだ。気分が落ち着かなくて困る。
My heart's been beating so hard this morning that it's getting on my starting to get on my nerves. I need to calm myself.
ワクワクしてるんだな。
You're excited, huh?
でも不安もある。
Mm-hmm, but nervous too.
どうして？
Why?
私にとってあのグライダーはイスカとの夢のかけらが形になったようなものだから。
To me, that glider it's like a figment of Isuka and Mai's dream given a real shape.
そうだったな。
Ah, that's right.
できました。
We got it.
よーし、組み立て完了。
Alright, assembly finished. There was the form of a white glider on the carpet like green summer grass that had overgrown onto the runway. It's a streamlined body. They protruded out in front, those giant wings. I see that cool little hook shape now. The newborn craft, bathed in the summer sunlight, sparkled so much that it was blinding. Whoa.
へえ。
It was the first time for the first years to see the assembled glider up close. The aircraft, warped by the enormity of the wings, made their eyes sparkle as they stared.
こんななんだ。
So this is it.
綺麗な機体だね。
It's a beautiful aircraft. It's a beautiful craft. The third years were affected the same. They looked at the aircraft they had made as if it were a gift that had fallen from the heavens.
それじゃ早速発行準備に取り掛かりましょう。
Alright, let's get underway with preparing for flight. With those words, everyone came back to their senses. We didn't come here to build it and then stare at it all day long. We're gonna fly. Now, and with this glider.
葵、コックピットお願い。
Aoi, take the cockpit. Roger. I get into the cockpit and start to check the flight systems. This is the aircraft's first flight since the improvement, so I made the pre-flight check very carefully. While Agaha confirmed the items to be checked, she explained the necessity of it to Asa and Yoru.
どうですか、先輩。
How is it, Amane?
どこも問題は見当たらない。
I'm not seeing any problems. Finally, Amane, having had a look over, the check is finished. Then, with the flight preparations ready...
おーい
Hey!
青鬼
Aoi!
お、ホタルたちだ。
Ah, it's Hotaru and Mabo. Mabo, Hotaru, and for some reason Akari showed up at the runway.
いらっしゃい、あんたたち。
Hey guys, welcome to the party.
おい見に来てやったぜ
Hey, hey, we came to watch.
グライダーできてる。
Ah, the glider's done. Mabo and Hotaru saw the glider and yelled out happily.
おはようございます、皆さん。
Good morning, everyone.
おはよう、生徒会長。どうしてあなたがいるの？
Morning, Student Council President. What are you here for?
田崎くんから今日テストフライトをすると伺ったので、お邪魔じゃなければ見学させてもらってもいいかしら。
Tasaki told me you were doing the test flight today. If I'm not in the way, would it be alright if I watched? Tasaki, is that Mabo? Katori grinned, hearing that.
もちろんよ。私たちの作ったグライダーを見ていくといいわ。
Of course, you can watch the glider. Of course, you can watch the glider we made. Katori made a face like she was eager to show off. We all felt the same way, so Katori was pretty much speaking for all of us.
あんちゃん。
Anshan,
よう、お前らも来たのか。
yo, you guys came too, huh?
散々アゲハにこき使われたからな
It's terrible. Agaha worked our hands to the bone.
あ、聞いたぞ。頑張ったんだってな、お前ら。
Ah, I heard you did great work too. Anshan pats Hotaru and Mabo on the head. They both look happy to be praised by him.
よーし、じゃあ飛ぶか。葵、いける？
Alright, let's fly. You good to go, Aoi? Anytime.
後部座席はどうするんですか？
What are you gonna do about the back seat?
そりゃあやっぱり
Oh, yeah.
私はいいぞ。
No thanks, I'm okay.
遠慮しなくていいのよ、あまねちゃん。せっかくなんだから最初に乗せてもらいなさいよ。
Don't hold back, Amane. After all you did, it's only right that you should ride first.
誰が遠慮なんかするものか。頼まれたって私は乗らないぞ。
No one's holding back. I was asked and I'm not riding, she said stubbornly. Her fear of heights hadn't changed a bit since in the last year. I was really looking forward to our date in the sky, but I guess that's not gonna happen.
じゃあ小鳥乗れば
Well, how about you, Katori?
いいの
Me?
部長なんだしねえ葵
You're the club leader after all, right, Aoi? Yeah, that's right, and I promised last year too. When I got my pilot's license, I promised her. I would take her with me first once I was able to pilot the glider on my own.
じゃ
Heart pounding. Alright, okay.
あ朝ちゃん夜ちゃん小鳥後ろに積み込むから手伝って
Asa, Yoru, we're gonna load Katori from behind. Give me a hand.
人を荷物みたいに言うな
Don't talk about me like I'm a suitcase. It's funny too, because I was literally just thinking that. From a ways off, Amane watched the buzz of the launch preparations. It was like she was looking at a faraway land. And she seemed lonely. I got out of the cockpit and walked over to her. Amane,
どうしたんだい葵くん
what's wrong, Aoi? Was that... I guess that was a little tough on you. Hmm?
実は少しな
Sorry, the pause is just a hair longer than I always expect, so it always catches me by surprise. Oh, yeah, a little. It was still bitter for her to face her memories of Isuka, so she was trying to distance herself from the glider. But she also treasures the time we've had together, and that's why she came back. She said she was looking forward to the test flight, but she still hasn't gotten her feelings for Isuka in order. This is the craft that you designed as a promise to Isuka, right?
ああそうだ
Yeah, that's right. So that means when this glider flies, the memory Isuka will be near too. That promise hasn't been fulfilled yet.
葵くん
Aoi, I thought it was a little shameless. I thought that I would delve into her past, her precious yet sad memories which I knew nothing about. But I thought that she might also forgive me, because I am her boyfriend after all. We're gonna take this glider to the other side of that cloud.
ありがとう
Thank you. She looked a little lonely, but laughed for me. I'm gonna get going.
あ気をつけて
Okay, be careful. Aw, that's so cute. I left her side and returned to the cockpit. Katori, you okay?
平気ワクワクしすぎて心臓が爆発しそうだけど
Yeah, I'm fine, but I'm so excited, it's like my heart's gonna explode. Agaha, we're good to go.
了解朝ちゃん夜ちゃん行くわよ
Roger, Asa, Yoru, let's go. The canopy was closed. The moment of our return had come to the Kazagura sky. The glider Aoi and Katori are in is connected to the winch by a tow line. I guess we're in Amane's POV now. In the canopy, the two of them look nervous, but they look like they're having fun too. Because unlike me, they're not afraid of flying. Or rather, they want to fly. It's almost like they might say they belong to the sky.
発行準備完了夜ちゃんウインチお願い
Flight preparations complete. Yoru, the winch. Agaha gestured toward the winch installed on the other side. Let's go! We're flying again, baby. And in the next moment, the glider was launched from the tow line. After a few seconds, Aoi pulled on the control stick and the craft climbed upwards. For an instant, I swallowed my breath, but the altitude was still low. Having lost the friction of the ground, the glider accelerated steadily. The noise turned upward. With its huge wings spread out, the white craft soared up into the sky. If you're gonna continue on her dream, I want you to have it, as her friend, said Katori, and then she passed me Isuka's flight log. At that time, I thought then maybe it's best that I don't have it.
今の私はどうなんだろ
How about me, I wonder?
うまだ同じ夢を見ているんだろうか
Am I still dreaming the same dream? So that means that this glider flies, the memory Isuka will be near too. As I resurrected, his words brought back thoughts that I had kept inside. I look at the sky. The tow line, with its small parachute open, came floating down. Released from the winch, the glider flew through the sky on the air caught by our wings. Isuka dreamed and I drew. And then they gave it form, our glider.
見てくれイスカ
Look, Isuka.
君と私とで思い描いた夢の翼が今飛んでいるぞ
The wings you and I dreamt up, they're flying now. Looking up, the sky is a crisp blue. The white wings glimmered, reflecting the light of the sun. I'm still dreaming. Because from where I'm standing, it is before the day we exchange promises. Oh, painful flashback? I mean, I don't know. I just feel like a painful flashback is coming. It just seems likely.
入るぞ、イースカ。
Coming in, Isuka. Hey, look, it's good.
あまね、どうしたの？
Amane, what's going on?
お見舞いに来たんだ。これ、達也から。
Ooh. So apparently Amane did switch to contacts at some point. Obviously we did know that, but obviously this is after she had done that. I came to see how you feel. This is from Tatsuya.
ありがとう。ゼリーだ、美味しそう。
Thanks. Ooh, jelly. Looks yummy.
わわ。
Hmm?
お前ハットか？ずいぶん大きくなったな。
Hat, you grew up.
ついこの間までひよこだったのに。
You were just a baby till quite recently.
その子、よく食べるからね。
It eats a lot.
具合はどうだ？
Ooh, an image, a flashback image that feels... How you feeling?
平気さ。ちょっと熱があるだけだから。
I'm fine. I just have a little fever.
そうか。
Okay.
わざわざ来てくれなくてよかったのに。
You didn't have to come.
でも、もう3日も休んでるじゃないか。風邪をこじらせたのか？
But you've taken 3 days off now. You might have the flu.
そんなんじゃないよ。
No, it's not like that.
いつものことだから。
This always happens to me.
ああ、でも、アマネと仲良くなってから大きいのは初めてか。
Oh
最
no!
近調子良かったからな。
Oh no, is that why Isuka's not here? Was it a disease that got her, dude? Is that why? Oh no, that's probably why she just disappeared one day without saying anything. She's not missing, dude. I mean, we did 100% believe that she was dead, obviously, but like, is that why? It was like she's like terminal and she had like a disease that came back, and was that why? Oh, the feels, dude, feels bad. But I haven't had a bad one since I became friends with you. I've been feeling good lately.
調子に乗りすぎてたかも。なんて。
I probably got carried away. It says away twice. Ignore that. I got carried away.
私が無理をさせてしまったのか。
Did I make you do that?
違う。その逆だって。アマネのおかげでずっと調子良かったんだよ。
No, just the opposite. You made me feel alive.
そうなのか。
Are you sure?
アマネには言ってなかったっけ？
I've never told you?
僕は生まれつき体が弱いんだ。
I haven't been in good health since I was born. Oh, I bet. Oh no, that is what happens, dude. That's why. Oh, the feels bad, man. Anyway,
そんな風に見えないが。
you don't look that way.
普段はね。
Usually.
でもはしゃぎすぎたりした日とか、もっと何でもない日とかでも。
But if I'm in high spirits, even on an ordinary day,
夜中に突然熱を出して寝込んじゃうことがあるんだ。
I'll get a high fever and have to stay in bed.
そんな夜は急に怖くなる。
I get very scared on those nights that
もしかしたらもう二度と朝を迎えられないんじゃないかって。
I might not be able to wake up ever again. Oh, that's 100% what happens. 100%.
意識が朦朧としてだんだん呼吸も苦しくなって、もう自分は死ぬんじゃないかって。
I feel lightheaded and I have difficulty breathing. I might die like this.
いいっすか。
Isuka.
あまね、手をつないで。
Amane, hold my hand.
あ、
Okay. Oh no! No! The feels! Oh no! Squeeze his hand.
そんな夜は誰かに手を握っててほしくなる。そうじゃないと不安に押しつぶされそうになるんだ。
On that night, I want somebody to hold my hands. Otherwise, I get very worried.
私はいつも君のそばにいるぞ。なんだったら今夜は泊まっていこうか。
I'm always here for you. I can stay here tonight.
もう平気だよ。だいぶ楽になった。明日からは普通に学校に行けると思う。
I'll be okay. I feel much better now. I could probably go to school tomorrow.
僕には寝込んでる暇なんてないからね。
I don't have time to be sick.
そうか。
Alright.
僕は多分人より長くは生きられない。
I don't think I can live as long as other people.
だったらせめて残したい。僕がここにいた証を。
So I want to leave some proof that I lived.
残せばいい。私にもできることがあれば言ってくれ。
Yeah, you should. If there's anything I can do, tell me.
ねえ、あれ どうした？
What happened to that?
あれ？ああ、大学の話か。
Ah, do you mean college?
断ったよ。
I turned it down.
なんで？
What? Why?
別に大学に編入してまでやりたい勉強はないからな。
I have nothing to learn in college.
でも、あんたの頭ならどこへだって行けるのに。
Ah, so I bet you this was getting pretty close to the end of Isuka's life because Amane is starting to turn down colleges and stuff. So we're probably getting pretty close to the, penultimate sad face finale. But you can choose any school you want.
確かに、全く興味がないわけじゃないが、今の私には他に行きたいところがあるんだ。
I'm sort of interested, but I have somewhere I want to go.
連れて行ってくれるんだろ？私をあの雲の向こうへ。
You're taking me there, right? To the sky?
あまね、あんた。
Amane, you are...
私にとってはイスカとの約束の方が大事だ。
A promise between us is more important to me. Oh, my feels! Don't do that. Come on. Have a heart, dude. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so good. Oh, no.
何を驚いてるんだ？
Why are you surprised?
お
Oh.
いや、さすがあまねだわ。わかってるわ。
I mean, it's just like you to understand me so well.
安心して。僕が命に変えても連れて行くよ。あんたをあの雲の向こうへ。
Don't worry, I'd risk my life to take you to the sky.
あ、楽しみにしてる。
Yeah, I look forward to it.
約束だ。
Promise. Isuka is always bright and lively, but on that day she looked a little small. It had me worried. She looked like a different person from the Isuka I know.
ところでイスカ、私のメガネを知らないか？この間部室で居眠りしているうちになくなってしまったようなのだが。
Oh, so she's not quite wearing contacts yet. She's just lost her glasses. By the way, do you know where my glasses are? I lost them when I fell asleep in the room.
さあ、知らないよ。あんたすぐ物をなくすからね。
I don't know. You always lose things.
あれがないと前がよく見えないぞ。
Aw, I can't see well without my glasses.
いっそコンタクトにしちゃえば？
You should change to contact lenses.
それもやむなしか。
I guess I'll have to. Oh, my feels, dude. That doesn't feel good. Is that all you need?
たったの2日だけだもん。
Yeah, it's just 2 days. Katori said it holding her bag on her lap.
おはようございます。
Good morning.
おはよう。
Good morning. The Kazuto sisters came down the stairs. They're both holding bags. Everyone's going casual, huh?
私たちは電車とバスですぐですから。
It doesn't take that long to get to my place by bus and train.
着替えも家にあるし。
We have clothes at home. It was a few days after the first flight with the improved plane. We didn't have much trouble and the test flight went well, so we decided to take a few days off from the club. We've been working very hard since before summer break, so this is a little vacation for us. To tell the truth, we should have more test flights, but we're having a training camp for the Morning Glory at the end of summer break, and this is the only time to rest. The Obon holiday is over, but Katori decided to go home, and Asa and Yoru were going back home for a while. You said you weren't going back. What made you change your mind?
だってひばり姉がすごく悲しそうな顔するんだもん。
Because Hibari seems very sad. She argued with Hibari about going home. They get along together well, but this time they didn't give up.
それにお父さんとお母さんにはいっぱい心配かけちゃったし。
And I made my parents worry a lot. Katori made them worry when she shut herself in the garage last year. I don't know much about it, but Katori had some trouble with her parents before too. After what happened, they got together and talked. As often happens, their relationship now seems to be better than it was before. It also got her to go home. Relax and have a good time.
そうする。
I will.
朝、夜、例のあれ、お願いね。
Asa, Yoru, don't forget that.
ミサギイスカのことね。
About Isuka,
おじいちゃんにパッチリ聞いてみます。
I'll ask my grandpa. They accepted. We just found out yesterday they know Isuka Misagi. Wow, so they know who Isuka was, and we learned her last name. It's Misagi. Interesting. They've met her for some reason. Weird. Amane came down the stairs.
いや、これから帰るのかい？
Hey, you going home now?
しばらく会えないけど、寂しかったら電話してくれてもいいわ。
Yes, you can call me anytime if you get lonely.
すぐ帰ってくるんだろ？
You're coming back in a few days, aren't you? She said it so matter-of-factly that Katori got a little angry.
いいから電話して。5分くらいでいいから。
She's like, I meant for me. I'm gonna get lonely. Call me anyway, just 5 minutes or something. Please call her, she'll be lonely if you don't.
分かったぞ。
Alrighty. I heard the car beep.
ひばり姉だ。
Oh, that must be Hibari. She's like, I'll get lonely if you don't. I know it's not for you. She's like, I know it's not for you, it's for me. Hibari.
小鳥ちゃん。
Katori. Hibari runs towards Katori like she hasn't seen her in forever. It's only been a week.
よく帰る気になってくれたわね。きっとお父さんたちも喜ぶわ。
I'm glad you changed your mind to come home. Mom and Dad will be happy.
もうすでに大喜びしてた。お盆休み明けたばかりだけど、有給取るって。
I mean, they're already happy. Obon is over and they're taking days off.
大げさね。
It's nothing.
帰るのは2日間だけだから。それ以上引き止めようとしたら、私一人でもここへ戻ってくるから。
I'll be home for only 2 days. If you try and keep me there, I'll come back here as soon as possible.
肝に銘じておくわ。
Okay, I got it. Is it that big of a deal?
ひばりさん、おはようございます。
Good morning, Hibari.
今日はありがとうございます。
Thank you for today. Hibari is going to take Asa and Yoru to the station in her car.
いいえ、どういたしまして。小鳥ちゃんのかわいい後輩さんなんですもの。
No problem. Katori has such cute friends. They look very cute to Hibari because they are younger than her. However, they are cute no matter what.
それじゃあ、葵くん、あまねちゃん、行ってくるわね。
Okay then, see you, Aoi and Amane.
行ってきます。
See ya.
それじゃあ、
See you. Take care.
行ってらっしゃい。
Goodbye.
ハットのことよろしくね。寂しかったらいつでも電話。
You just hear she drives away. Take care of Hat. Call me anytime. Hibari's car drove away. It got quiet all of a sudden. What are you gonna do, Amane? Don't you have to go back home?
私はここに残るよ。家に帰ると仕事が増えるからな。
Oh, some good quality time for Aoi and Amane? I'm staying here. I have to do more work if I go home.
それに、
And she's like, a certain someone is here. Hug. Wow. She hugged me suddenly.
二人きりだと、葵くんのこと抱きしめ放題だ。
If it's only you and me, I can hug you as much as I want.
こんな風に。
Like this. Hug, hug. It feels good. Or he's like, it feels good. It's not just the two of us. Kaneko is here. So is Hat.
そうだったな。
I forgot about that. She said like she didn't really mean it and kept hugging me. I complained, but I couldn't do anything. We really can't.
あ、
Okay, yeah, absolutely you can. Like, come on, dude. Don't be such a prude. Anyway, she hugs me like she's happy all the way down to her heart.
ありがとう、葵くん。
Thank you, Aoi. Huh?
君のおかげで、私はまだ夢を見ていられる。
I can still dream thanks to you. What is she talking about? What is she talking about? Is it the test flight? Okay. I said, and hugging her back. Does she want to, or wait. Does she want to meet the person who used to be her best friend? And Isuka. I was thinking about the letter from Isuka that I found yesterday and could feel Amane's warm, radiant happiness. Am I still alive there? The letter started like that. Oh dear. So apparently he found that was yesterday. Whoa! Wow, that sounded bad. Katori broke a floorboard with her wheelchair.
大変、床が割れてます。
Oh gosh, the floor is cracked.
ハバネ先輩、また太ったんじゃ。
Habane, did you gain weight again?
違うわ、無実よ。これは床板が腐ってたのか、それか、私、太ってない。
No, it's not me. This floor might be rotten or something. I didn't get fat. Anyway, so apparently they found a letter from Isuka, like a hidden, which is probably in the bottom of this floorboard or something. So apparently they found a floorboard, and I guess so we know that Asa and Yoru are gonna look into Isuka, like do something with that, which is interesting. And I'm wondering, did Aoi give Amane this letter? And the start of it sounded really depressing. Am I still alive? You know what I mean? It's like, oh no. You know what I mean? Oh, that's no good. The floor really is rotten.
残念って何？そんなこと言ってないで、助けてよ。
I like how she's leaning over. What do you mean no good? Help me here. I took the rotten wood and picked her up from the crack.
どうしたんですか？
What's up? What is this? There is a tin can under the floor.
クッキーの箱ですか？
Is that a cookie can? Looks like it.
わかった。きっと誰かのへそくりよ。埋蔵金ってやつね。
Ah, I've got it. It must be somebody's hidden money stash. It's buried treasure. It looks like somebody hid it, so that's possible.
開けてみれば？
Let's open it. The rusty top opened with a thump. In the box there was a fancy letter, a panda doll, and this. Glasses case? Oh. So do you think maybe Isuka took Amane's glasses because she wanted her to wear contacts because she looks really pretty? Which it did go a long way. I mean, like, they're both cute, but the glasses-less look does make her, you know, look, I don't know. I mean, like, I can see why. She does look nice with either way. But do you think she took her glasses or just the case? And the panda doll, I'm not sure. Maybe that was just an Isuka thing. Oh, interesting. It's a very weird combination. Oh, the
どう
feels.
かしたのかい？
What's going on? Amane came by. We found this under the floor. I showed her the inside of the box. And then...
これ私のメガネケースだ。
This is my glasses case. What? This is yours?
ああ、もうずいぶん前になくしていたんだけど。そうか、こんなところにあったのか。
I lost it a long time ago. I guess it was here. This isn't the kind of situation where you say, "Oh, I guess it was here," like that. She didn't put this in here though.
このぬいぐるみは何？
What is this panda doll? A panda doll. It's one of those stuffed animals you can get from an arcade machine.
イスカが気に入ってたパンダだ。懐かしいな。
This is Isuka's favorite doll. It brings back a lot of memories. This is Isuka's? In that case, this letter is...
開けてみましょうよ。
Let's open it. Can we...
こんなところに置いておく方が悪いのよ。
If she didn't want anybody to see, she shouldn't have left it here. I feel like this is a private thing that the whole room shouldn't read. I was very curious too, so I opened it. There was folded notes inside the envelope.
なんて書いてあるんですか？
What does it say? Am I still alive there? Oh no, the feels. This was written on one of the notes. This handwriting is the same as what's in that diary.
何これ？どういう意味？
What is it? What does it mean? Katori and I looked at Amane, but she was just looking at the letter and didn't say a word. There is one more. This one was more like a normal letter. Hey Amane, are you there? Or hey Amane, are you there? How do you feel about wearing contact lenses? You must be famous now, huh? Could it be that you have a boyfriend? Ooh, I'm jealous. I want you to appreciate me. She held the glasses case she took from the box tightly and probably without thinking. What's the year there? How old am I? Did you make your dreams come true already? How's your life? Are you a success? I see. My future is bright, isn't it? I thought so.
これもしかしてタイムカプセルってやつ？
Is this a time capsule? I guess so. This is a letter to her future self. And to the best friend who is still beside her.
にしても人のメガネを隠しちゃうなんてむちゃくちゃな子ね。
Why did she hide this glasses case? That's so strange. Katori looks at Amane, who seems uncomfortable.
でもよかったじゃないですか。おかげで彼氏できたんだから。
But it turned out well because you got a boyfriend. She looked at me, then looked at the glasses case.
本当だ。
It's true. I didn't choose you based on whether or not you wear glasses, though. I said it just in case. And there is a postscript on the letter. P.S. I put Panko in here too. If I fawn over Panko too much, Hat'll get jealous and attack it. The letter ended like that.
イスカってやっぱり変な子よね。
Isuka's weird, Katori said earnestly.
ところでそのイスカって
By the way, Isuka is...
もしかしてミサギイスカのことかしら？
Are you talking about Isuka Misagi? Yoru said suddenly.
うん、そうだが。
Yes, we are.
知ってるの？
Do you know her?
昔一度だけ会ったことがあるわ。
I met her
祖父
once.
主催のパーティーで。
Sorry, too fast. I met her once at my grandpa's party.
思い出した。あの人だ。
Oh yeah, I remember her. Asa claps her hands.
大人ばっかりのパーティーで私たちが退屈してたらこっちに来て遊んでくれたんです。
There were only adults at the party. When we got bored, she came to us and played with us.
ずっと年上なのになんだか子供みたいな人だったわね。
She was much older than us, but she was still like a kid.
それ何のパーティー？なんでイスカが来てたの？
What kind of party was that? Why was Isuka there?
年に一度地元の偉い人たちを集めて懇親会のようなことをやるんだけど。
They have a party with local celebrities once a year.
ミサギ家は風戸家と並ぶ地元の有力者の家だから。 確か慶風学園の理事も務めていたはずよ。
Oh wow. The Misagi family is a very powerful family around there, like the Kazutos. I think they used to be at the head of the Keifu Academy.
じゃあイスカっていいとこのお嬢様なんだ。
Ah, that means Isuka's a celebrity. We were surprised because it came out of the blue. Amane's like, really? Amane looks surprised too. I wondered what she's like, but I never expected her to be a celebrity.
ちょっと変わった人だったし、イスカなんて妙な名前そうそうないから、多分間違いないわね。
She was strange, and Isuka is not a common name, so that must have been her. Is your grandfather still in contact with the Misagis?
ええ、
Maybe.
多分。じゃあもしかしてあなたたちのおじいちゃんに聞けばイスカの居所とか分かったりするんじゃ。
What do you mean where Isuka is? So is she not dead? What is happening? If you ask him, might he be able to tell us where Isuka is?
さあ、そこまでは。
I don't know. But it's worth it to ask him.
ええ。
Yeah. We stumbled onto a way to find Isuka unexpectedly, and we were excited. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure she's dead. Isn't she? Now I'm concerned. Amane was surprised at what was happening and was staring at the letter. So she's not dead? I'm so confused. That's all. Wow. Well,
そんなことがあったのか。
that's what happened. I told Anchan about the time capsule while fixing the winch. Even if I get days off, Amane has work, so I decided to do maintenance so we can fly as soon as everyone comes back. I was worried about doing it by myself, so I asked Anchan to come since he wasn't busy.
イスカらしいな。
That's just like Isuka, he murmured after he read the letter I brought. That written there, is that... I say, pointing the letter. Am I still alive there? I was curious, but I couldn't ask Amane. Anchan looks at the words and is quiet for a while.
あいつは自分が長くは生きられないって思ってるみたいだった。
She never thought she would live real long.
イスカは体が弱かったんだ。それでよく学校も休んでた。
Her health was not good, so she took days off from school often.
普段はごく普通の女の子に見えるんだけどな。急に熱を出して2、3日寝込んだりする。
She looks like a normal girl, but once she gets a fever, she has to stay in bed for a few days.
生まれつきらしいけど、あいつは自分の短命を覚悟しているみたいだった。
She was born like that, though. She accepts her fate. Accepts her fate? I might die soon. Hang on a minute. What is happening here? I just look over at my phone and it's just like, it's so lit up. It's just like, what is happening over there? Anyway, so yeah, the last slide was, I might die soon. So there are people who live prepared for that.
だからだろう。俺にはあいつが生き急いでるように見えたよ。
That's why to me, it looked like she lives fast.
人の何倍も濃密な時間を過ごし、何倍も楽しんでやろう。そんなやつだった。
She was just the kind of person who has to live life happier, have more fun, and just live more life in each moment than everyone else. She sounds strange. She put Amane's glasses case into the box because they didn't look good on her. To be honest, I like her wearing contacts better than glasses.
変わり者といえば、そうだったかもな。
Now that you mention it, I guess she was strange.
周りと馴染めなくていつも浮いてた。そりゃそうだ。普通に暮らしてる連中とは生きる密度が違いすぎるんだ。
She can't get along with people because she lives differently from others.
そうして孤立を深めていってた頃、あいつは同じように周囲に馴染めないでいるやつを見つけた。
When she got isolated, she found someone else who also couldn't get along with others. Is that Amane? Anshan nods. That was around the time she was being called a genius and a goddess by those around her. Everything was in order, but nothing was fun. The world was gray.
理由は全然違うが、浮いている者同士、馬があったみたいだな。
They had different reasons to be isolated, but they were both alone so they could get along together. Amane was glad that Isuka called her an idiot.
あいつらしいな。アマネにバカなんて言えるのは多分イスカくらいだ。
That's just like her. The only person who can call Amane an idiot is Isuka. What was Isuka like?
そうだな。一言で言うと、あいつこそとんでもないバカだった。
Well, if I were to describe her in one word, she was an idiot. She was an idiot
一応いい意味でな。
in a good way. It's just like...
アマネは賢い。天才って言われるほどだ。できることとできないことが分かってる。だから無駄なことはしないし、成功しても喜ばない。
Man, I so need this, dude. Tatsuya is he's the most, like, straight, just, like, no, don't beat around the bush. He's, like, anytime you want to go for closure or answers or, like, something you want to hear, just to have something said in a very concise way, Tatsuya is the one who always comes through. Like he's like, all right, let's just clarify. Like I just love that he's like the only one in the whole cast who doesn't like beat around the bush for anything. Like, and I love it, like more than anything. Amane's clever, so much so that people call her a genius. She knows what she can do and what she can't. That's why she doesn't waste her time, and she's never satisfied, even when she's successful.
アマネにとってそれは当たり前のことで、多分意識もしてなかったと思う。
It's nothing special to her. She probably doesn't even realize she's like that. For Amane, success and failure are already accounted for. It's enough to make her life boring.
イスカはその逆だ。できることとできないことがまるで分かってない。
It's so weird. The other thing I'm noticing, Tatsuya does not use past tense when talking about Isuka, which I don't think a lot of them have been, but like, I don't know, especially I can't unsee it, but like Tatsuya, anytime he talks about Isuka, he's not talking past tense. Like, is Isuka still alive? It's like, cause like, he's not talking about it like she died, you know what I mean? All of his sentences are like she's still totally alive. So like, maybe she is alive. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, Isuka's the opposite. She doesn't know what she can and can't do.
やってみて、結果を見てからやっと理解する。
She learns from results. I see. In this world, people call that kind of person an idiot. I mean, that's kind of harsh, but for some reason, Isuka has me intrigued. Maybe because Anshan and Amane talk about her so happily.
でもな、物事には成功と失敗だけじゃない。そのどちらでもない部分に目には見えない価値があることだってある。
But things are not just about success or failure. Things which are not either one have value sometimes too.
グライダーで飛ぶっていうのもそうじゃないか？
Flying a glider is one of those, isn't it? I nod. Gliders without motors depend on the wind to fly. They can't carry passengers or parcels. If it flies, it doesn't mean anything special. That's what it's supposed to do.
イスカはそんな目には見えない価値あるものを一生懸命探してるようなやつだった。
Isuka was looking for values like that you can't see with the eye. Amane said the same thing.
正しいことと間違っていることいいことと悪いこと役に立つものと立たないもの
The good things which are right or wrong, good things and bad things, useful things and useless things.
物事をそんな風にしか捉えていなかった私にイスカはそうじゃないものがあることを教えてくれた
I used to see things like that, but Isuka showed me that there is more to the world.
世界のほとんどはそうじゃなかったんだ
In fact, most things in the world are not like that.
そう思えるようになってから世界が輝き出した小さなきらめきをそこかしこに見つけられるようになった
After I began to think like Isuka, my world started shining.
イスカが私の世界に色をくれた
Isuka gave my world color. Ah, fascinating.
へえ、あいつがそんなことを。
She said it like that. Isuka influenced Amane a lot.
そうなのかもな。けど、それはイスカからしても同じだと思うぞ。
See what I mean? See what I mean? Like, look at this sentence. I guess so, but it's the same for Isuka. That's not a whole lot. Like, it was the same for Isuka when she was still alive. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no past tense here, and I can't unsee it.
アマネと出会うまでイスカは退屈してた。何をやっても空回りで喜びを共有できる仲間はいない。
Before she met Amane, she was bored. Everything she did was wrong, and nobody shared joy in anything with her.
あいつ自身、自分の存在を希薄に感じて辛い思いをしてたと思う。
She tried to hide herself. She was having a hard time.
けどアマネはそんなあいつをいきなり全肯定しちまった。
But Amane accepted Isuka the way she is.
イスカのやること、喋る内容全部をだ。
What she does and how she talks, everything. Everything. As far as I had heard, and from what I had read in the letter, she seems to do a lot of stupid stuff. But Amane accepted all of it.
アマネがよく言ってるだろ。イスカは天才だったんだって。
Amane always says that, doesn't she? That Isuka was a genius.
当時アマネは学校中、それこそ先生らからも別格の雲の上の人のような扱いをされてた。
Amane used to be treated special by the teachers and all of the students.
そんなアマネから天才だもんな。
But she called Isuka a genius. If it were me, I would have been afraid. I would have asked her to stop it.
ああ、俺もだ。
Me too.
でもイスカは嬉しそうだった。やっと僕の価値がわかる人間が現れたか。くらいのドヤ顔だったぞ。
But Isuka was happy. She was like, finally, I've met a person who understands my value, and had this smug face. She really was strange. She got carried away easily, just like Katori.
イスカはアマネに体が弱いことを隠そうとしてた。
Isuka tried to hide her poor health from Amane. How come?
弱みを見せたくなかったんだろう。アマネと対等の友人でいたかったんだと思う。
She didn't want to show weakness to Amane. She wanted to be equal.
まあ、すぐにバレちまったけどな。
She found out soon, though. Anchan said quietly and smiled. I noticed something looking at his sad face. The story he told now was full of sad memories for him too. But still, I asked him a lot of questions.
にしても、アマネと随分打ち解けたんだな。あいつがイスカのことを話すなんて。
By the way, you and Amane opened up to each other. I can't believe Amane told you about Isuka. What? Well, yeah. She never went out of her way to talk about those things before. It was hard for her to face it. I haven't told you yet, but Amane and I are dating. Anchan looked surprised for a moment, but smiled happily. Whack! Ow!
やるな、葵。あのアマネを落とすとは。
Man, he's just the best, dude. He's so happy. Good job, Aoi. I can't believe she's in love. Ow, really?
あいつ昔からモテてたからな。あの見た目だから当然なんだが。
She's always been popular with the guys. I mean, I can understand because of how she looks.
でも、どんな男が言い寄っても全く相手にしてなかったんだぜ。
But she didn't care about any guys.
そもそも恋愛ってものにまるで興味がないみたいだったな、あれは。
She wasn't interested in dating at all. Uh-huh. She didn't know about dating until recently. Yeah, this whole experience is very new for her.
それをまさかお前がな。
But you changed her. Anchan nodded and patted me on the head. Hey, Anchan.
おめでとう、葵。お前だったらアマネのこと安心して任せられるよ。
He's like, haha, congratulations, Aoi. I can count on you to take care of Amane. I know, I was saying the same thing earlier. Anchan, were you by chance... What? Were you in love with Amane? He's staring at me, having blurted out what I was thinking. Then...
俺が惚れてたのはイスカだ。
I was in love with Isuka. Isuka, I see. That's why you knew so much about her, even before Amane met her. Oh, I was worried about that. If I think hard about it, it seems strange. Anchan joined the soaring club after Isuka and the others revived the club.
まあな。
Yeah.
でも、あの頃のイスカはアマネにぞっこんでな。割り込む隙がなかったんだ。
But at that time, Isuka was into Amane. There was no space for me. Anchan scratches his nose bashfully. Do you still love her? Oh, he does. Oh, my heart, dude. Ah, it's so painful. Anchan shut his mouth and looked up at the sky that was clear all the way up to the lake.
ああ、好きだな。
Yes, I do. In a few words, it was as if he'd said so much. Oh, everything hurts. Everything hurts. Fortunately, we might be able to find out where she is now.
本当か？
Are you sure? Asa and Yoru have seen her. They said she is the daughter of a rich family.
イスカが？
Are you talking about Isuka? He looks surprised. It seems unexpected. She might have hidden the fact that she was rich, so Anchan didn't know. We may be able to contact her. See what I mean? Like, everyone talks like she's still alive, but like most of the time Tatsuya uses current tense, but sometimes he drops in some in the past tense too. But like Aoi and like Asa and Yoru, they're like actively been like, yeah, we'll find out where she's at. Like, you know, it's like it's like she literally is just vanished or missing, and not like I think she's dead. I don't know, man. Like, if she is alive, then why hasn't she reached out? Like, is she off the top of my head? If I see two scenarios, she's alive or dead. If she's alive and hasn't contacted, my guess is because maybe she's like catatonic or comatose, or she's in a coma or something like that, where she literally couldn't. She had no choice. She's alive but not cognizant. You know what I mean? Or my other theory is that she's dead, but they kept it so quiet that no one knows. And so then they're gonna try and contact her, and eventually it's gonna break out that Isuka actually passed away, and that's why she didn't reach out. I think that's one of the two theories that's gonna happen here. Anyway, Anchan's gaze fell upon the old winch.
俺もアマネもイスカがいなくなったあの日から時間が止まっちまったみたいになってる。
Amane and I feel like time has stopped since Isuka left.
動き出せるきっかけをずっと待っているんだ。
We've been waiting for an opportunity to get it moving again.
葵たちがモーニンググローリーを飛んでくれればそのきっかけになるかもしれないって思ってた。
If you were to fly the morning glory, we thought that could be our chance.
俺はともかくアマネはそれで歩き出せる。
It doesn't matter if it moves for me or not. What does matter is that it moves for Amane. Oh, Tatsuya is just the best person in the world. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, albeit vaguely. If not, her promise with Isuka will stay in her mind forever. If I find anything out, I'll let you know as soon as possible.
なあ頼む
Yes, please.
それから
Alright then. Anchan's tapped my arm gently.
アマネのことも頼むわ
Take good care of Amane. I nodded, looking at his eyes. Oh, the feels, dude! Wow, what developments! Wow, what an episode! My goodness. Alright. Well, man, wow, what a roller coaster. Alright, giving that one a save. Wow, I think that'll be a fantastic place to call it. Yeah, it's a tad early, but I do have some obligations and I'm not positive what's happening with them. And so I'm gonna give myself a little bit of extra time to get things ironed out on that front. But wow, what a roller coaster, dude. Like, that's insane. There's so much going on right now. Anyway, so yeah, when we get back, we'll be continuing. I don't imagine, like I said, that the Amane route is going to take a whole long time. And again, at the moment, I am planning on trying to just jump into other routes, but at the same time, I might take a break for each one. I mean, this might be like a back burner playthrough for a long time. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, it might be a back burner one. Like, after we finish the Amane route, I might take a break again. I mean, I'm not positive. There's parts of me that wants to finish it so I can say we did. You know, but then there's other parts of me that's like, at the same time, I mean, it could be kind of cool to, you know, always have the next one ready to go when you're ready to do a visual novel. So that could be something. Now, granted, if I did do more breaks, I would try to not make it like the last one where they were months apart. If I did the whole break thing, I would probably do it between playthroughs. Like, we would play another game, then when we came back, we would hit the next route, then do one more game, come back for the next route, something like that. So I might do something like that just to break up the reading a little bit. But yeah, but that might be the way we take it. We'll have to see what happens. But anyway, that is so cool. So yeah, this ideally should be going up today, today being Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. I am planning on recording. If I am able to record Divinity tonight, then there should be a Divinity part going out first thing tomorrow. That should be fine. And then, of course, there will be the next episode of this as well. The other thing is, I actually believe I have Wednesday off. My work hours are changing. We're in our slower season, and so my work hours are less than they otherwise are normally. And so there might be some content coming out on this Wednesday. So that could be really, really neat. So we will see what happens with that. But yeah, so it was super, super cool. So much closure. So much is happening right now. And I am here for it. I am all about it. So anyway, but yeah, I think I will call it there, and we will move on. So I guess I will see you guys for tomorrow's stuff. Anyway, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.